Welcome to Speak Out Unfiltered.
Father, we just thank you today, Lord. We thank you for your blessings upon Grenada, blessings, oh God, to all the listeners and all the contribution. We pray, Lord, that you're going to keep us in your lovely hand, for all of us, oh God, to enter into a new year. And I thank you for doing it today. In Jesus' precious name.
Bringing the hot topics to you.
Could we please be informed that there are no bad children, it's just bad parents. That is the reason that children is only bad parents.
Bad parents.
Working together.
Well, the amount of transformation I see transforming around Carriacou is long life, health, and strength, man. One.
That's what you want now, right?
Yes, because I'm looking forward for big things, as in Jamaica say, big things are going on for 2024.
Connecting the dots.
I want to encourage the one man to continue with his one-man men.
Yes,
exactly. Because it's the benefit of the country. What did he do for Carriacou? All these things that he's saying, whenever they make statements, the recording is there. You know, we in the media, we have it.
Working together.
Yes, so I want to grade him pursuant to senior Cambridge, so to speak.
It's always an opportunity that I look forward to when we can discuss and look at the issues that affect us together as a people.
So, the budget was really a good budget. The government is doing a whole lot. They're doing for the people. They open the eyes of the people. This budget is the best budget I heard since after the revolution. I never heard a budget good like that, and it's for the people. A people's budget, you call that. I am very pleased with this government.
Speak Out Unfiltered. The opinions and ideologies expressed on this program, Speak Out Unfiltered, it's the views of its rightful owners and not of Vibes FM 101.3. Speak Out Unfiltered.
Every Thursday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Unfiltered. And I mean it.
And just want to say good morning again to you right here on Vibes FM. Welcome to the program Speak Out Unfiltered for today, Thursday. We're looking at the 27th day of June. Good morning to the trial and state of Grenada, Carriacou, Petit Matinee. Good morning to you. What about those of you in St. Vincent and Grenadines, our neighbors next door? We always say good morning to you as well. Our listeners, those of you on the internet, good morning to you on Vibes 101.3 FM frequency. Good morning to you. And those of you on 106.3 as well. Good morning to you. Facebook, good morning. We also have our listeners and those viewers on the YouTube. Good morning to you as well. The program interactive, that's fair, Speak Out Unfiltered for today. Want to remind your listeners that if you want to interact with us, you can always call us when we open up the telephone lines at 443-0101. Again, that's 443-0101 and 439-0101. And those are the two line numbers. We got the WhatsApp numbers and the 473, of course, and 534-3097. 534-3097 and 403-0101. 403-0101. 0101. Lots of things, discussions or topics for discussion this morning, right here on Vibes FM inside our program. But first of all, my panel is already seated. Coy, good morning. Living here for a while. Good morning, Coy. How are you doing?
Good morning, Go. I'm okay.
What's up? You all right?
I'm okay. Yes. I'm just happy to be starting the program today with Sir Leo at my side. I told him when he was coming in that I wanted to make sure that he was here because in the past time he's been given attention elsewhere. But I'm glad Sir Leo is here and we're starting the program together. And let me also say good morning to all the listeners wherever you are. Yeah, I do agree with you, Kim, that we're going to be having we should be having a very exciting program, discussion. Let's engage with each other. So many things have happened and are happening, and I look forward to my teachers and my colleagues inside here.
I find watching Mr. Leo a lot,
Yeah. Well, I mean, I have to be guided. I mean, I don't know everything, and when he speaks, I learn. So I'm always leaning on to it. So Leo, welcome, man. Nice to see you.
Thank you, Mr. Coy, for that.
Yes,
that support.
Uh-huh.
And good morning, my Redeemer.
Good morning to you.
Everything.
Okay.
There's a lot happening. We seem to have plenty guns, no convention.
Yeah.
And so I don't know where we're leading.
We're leading.
We're leading?
Yeah, we're leading in the right way.
But it puts somebody in a very precarious situation.
Mm-hmm.
And it was obvious that the votes, not even the opposition party votes,
mm-hmm.
was so sincere. We have more abstention than you or nay.
Yeah. Two abstain from voting. 1 year.
And the other one a day.
And the other one a day.
Walk out.
What is the interpretation of abstention? I mean, from your own perspective, I mean, yes, abstention is one of the options. What
it says?
What is the interpretation? What do you understand by it? Because if somebody votes yes, you understand that. If somebody votes no, you understand that. But what is
when you abstain? What you really mean?
Yeah.
Leave me out of that. I ain't doing that. Leave me out of that.
I have no interest.
I have no interest in it. In other words, I
have no opinion.
I can't vote the way I want to vote, so I'm voting.
That is abstention.
Well, abstain. You play the fifth.
Yeah.
I know I did. and quite understandably so, I want to go out with a sort of a clean slate. I don't want to next year because I ain't running next year.
Mm-hmm.
And one can run for leader, the other one ain't running for office. So where does that leave us?
So you're really, really humorous about it. I will take it.
What you gonna do? What you gonna do?
One and running
for leader, and one and running again.
And the others what? Watching on the sideline?
Yeah, we in limbo. Where's the limbo?
Well, that's how it is, eh?
Mm-hmm.
But what are you gonna do? We got to get used to things like that. Okay, let's get used to it. Anyway, our listeners are standing by and they want to know some of the things we'll be discussing as we go through, the rest of the program this morning.
Mm-hmm.
But just going to leave Diablo and company for just a little while.
Amen.
Because there's a lot of concern in Carriacou in particular,
Mm-hmm.
And an incident happened over the last couple of days, and it's very troublesome, although we don't have much information about it, but it pertains to the amnesty that's been discussed right now in Parliament,
mm-hmm.
about gun control and to make sure that we live in a nice society that's nice and not only clean, but free of violence as much as possible, because you're going to get little pockets here and there.
Mm-hmm.
But it's important, that we step on the ball before the ball starts bowling, before it starts
mm-hmm.
moving out of your way, And I think this is one of the things that's taking place right now. You find that there's a clamp down all around.
Well, I'm so excited about the whole idea of getting stiff with those people who think it's necessary to have a gun and use it carelessly. Because you see what's happening in the good old United States?
Yeah.
every day a mass shooting, every day a mass shooting, and those fellas so wicked, talking about this second amendment that they're trying to protect. But in truth and in fact, the gun makers and so forth, they're in all the politicians' pocket. When you look at how much they contribute to the campaign, you understand why they have to support the gun lobby. So and he's not doing. I'm truly worried, okay, because you know some civil unrest is brewing in the good old United States, and I still have family there, for Christ's sake. And I am very, very, very worried because Donald Trump is as popular as he is because his base of ignoramus is. His base of ignoramus is they're in good numbers, you know.
Definitely, yeah.
They're in good numbers, and those guys have more muscle than sense. So it's something to be concerned about. I'm telling you, something to be concerned about.
And what is also worrying is that, you know, the more it's like a cock. The more you try to put it down under water,
He's floating.
it's floating up. So no matter what you do, so Leo, I mean, you know, you push it down on this end, and you just turn your face a little bit, you go up on another end. And that's what I'm seeing. That's how I want to describe and see what's happening in the US. You know, the more you try to sink, Donald, you know, for some reason, somewhere along, it's coming back up. And I do agree with you. It's concerning.
I tell you, it's concerning.
And I just hope that we learn our lesson. They say what? When your neighbor house is on fire, what must do?
You see, people in the United States, some of those very, very, very prejudiced ones, those closet ones, those, you know, when you see they're frustrated and they're disappointed, they didn't get what they want. Sometimes they just act out violently on you for no reason at all, you know. And this gun business that is so common all about the place. People coming and owning guns, in some instances, they're like buying something in the supermarket. And they're in large numbers. And it's concerning. We don't want Grenada to come like that. Good job to the Prime Minister and his team. Crack down on it at very early stage. Before he raises his ugly head, nip it in the bud. As a matter of fact, kill it in childbirth.
Well, that is
Or
what
even people they thought.
Yeah. Yeah, this gun business before
no, this is something that we don't need that at all, you know. And the way that they've been coming in to the country is just alarming, because for whatever way they could find a possible way to get it in, they're trying.
But I was told I wasn't there, but again it's hearsay, but sometimes we have smoke fire out there too. That the thing was so neatly packaged. It's a very observing person to, I mean, discover what was in there. And you have, when you check those who've been clearing, those who've been picking up and all this kind of foolishness and so on and so forth, fingers pointed in one area. So I hope that justice is meted out to those who are guilty,
But it's
and heavily so.
and I know, you know, it is kind of new in terms of information, but this seems to be having happening a long time.
Well, they always say, you know, not the first time you catch the thief.
Yeah, that's my first time a thief.
That's not the first time you thief.
Precisely.
No.
You know? So with that said, what would have gone on before? Because these things have been brewing, and people have been always threatening. People have been always saying things. We gotta take people seriously when they speak and say things and give us clues. What has happened? I mean, are there others filtering through, or just a transshipment point, a passing through point? Because we'll see more and more of that happening.
You see, this thing, yes, it's been happening a long time ago, but the amount and the type of equipment that is happening now, you find somebody years ago might want to smuggle in a little Glock or something, but now we're talking with AR-15, you know.
Yeah, top of the line.
Yeah. Things that are meant for warfare and on the front line has no business in civil society.
Yeah.
And that is why those guys who are in politics in America are so wicked. What do you want to do with a gun that you could have dispense so much rounds in a minute? Why is that necessary? Is that necessary to protect somebody? But
No.
you could buy
There's
it.
other motives.
Yeah, you could buy.
Yeah. And you realize too, because of the amount of those guns on the streets, the kind of crimes that we
Of course.
committed.
Fight fire with fire,
Yeah, that's it.
So that's what's going on. So I mean, it's a good move, and I can emphasize it more. That
But it needs to be dealt with, and that is one they're doing it now. We're doing it right now before it raises ugly head or something.
Gentlemen, I'm also thinking, yes, that could be a good approach, but I'm also thinking about looking at the bigger picture. The bigger picture is violence, Bigger picture is violence, and violence can be realized in different ways and different forms. And I think the message that we try to send with gun as the main act of violence, as the main part being used in violence, there should be that message sent in all other aspects. I remember one time we in this country here was so worried about cutlass use. Yeah. And the talk was cutlass. we elevated now, but violence still exists. Whatever is being used to inflict violence and pain to people ought to be cracked down upon. That's just the tool. But I think more so, we also need to educate people's mind. Why you would want to use that? What is the purpose of a cutlass, a knife, a dagger, whatever you want to say? But all of these things are violent, and we should try to educate our people and ourselves that these things, well, nothing wrong in pelting a copper too if you are fighting. Yeah.
But you see,
but this thing about violence, and of course now we're seeing the escalation of the gun. Now we have to sit and reason with ourselves and see how we should address this situation.
See, times and things and people have changed. Over the years, there was a time when foul feather and ink
It's a right
to write. We graduated that to pack a pen.
Right. Okay.
We go from pack a pen to typewriter.
Yes.
Now
computer.
And in the same token, you're talking about violence being the bigger picture. But the biggest picture is loss of life.
Yes. Well.
Yeah. Because that's what it leads to eventually. That is the positive there. Loss of life. And, every life you could protect, you should protect it. It's good to be able to protect lives. But when you have guns around, long time somebody give you a coffee, might get a headache, and then you go and sleep, you pass that. But when you get a bullet in your brain,
that's the end of it. That's the end.
You're waking up.
Yeah.
Or you might chop.
I mean,
at least I really agree with you. The end result is death. Yeah, and we
loss of life.
Yeah, a loss of life. But we also have to look at and what are the underlying reasons for this violence? Why people are so angry? Why people are so violent? And even if a disagreement occurs, you want to resort to the extreme. Where's the reasoning ability?
I tell you what,
that we're supposed to have.
Let me tell you what it is. When people are not taught to be independent and do something and earn for themselves, and they see themselves after a while as a wasted life, have nothing to show for their existence, those are dangerous people,
Yeah.
And that's what was being permitted for the longest time. Don't do nothing, make yourself a vagabond, and then everybody who you think has a penny more than you're upset with them because they have and you don't have.
So you can try to get
they're upset with you for what they think you have, and that's what's prevailing. You have to do nobody nothing, let us think you have money you're dead with.
Thinking,
just think. That's it. So we think not just money but something.
Yeah.
And they're upset.
Yeah, we have to go back in ourselves and we examine ourselves. Why are we doing the things that we're doing? I mean, and if people want to change course and let's go forward, because at the end of the day, we're saying.
But this thing is embedded. It's not just a matter of changing course, but something that you've been experiencing over now, God, 3 decades now. Huh? So if people who are 4 decades old, they too are victims of that 3 decades, because as long as they've been getting to their senses and understand what life is all about, all of the experiences, this decadent that were put on us, and then we have nothing to show for it.
But that's it, So let me get back now to the debate that took place in Parliament. as it contains to gun amnesty and what's transpired. And the presentation made by our Honorable Prime Minister Deacon Mitchell, I think was right in the right track and trying to bring the story to the people to let them understand why we are doing what we are doing and why it's necessary to do it now. Definitely. Listen to his presentation. Let me just play his presentation for us, that he did, just part of it, but still it's what.
But we're in the midst of the youth parliamentary debates that are ongoing. And so I saw two things from the other side, which from a pure technical point of view, I think I should point out, because it may stand our young parliamentarians who are debating in good stead. It's called distraction in relation to the presentation from the MP for St. Mark.
Remember the word distraction. We're going to get on that distraction to see what he was talking about when he spoke about distraction. Let's continue.
Which is, don't debate that which is before you, but divert attention to other things in the hope that you miss the mark of what we are treating with here today, which is a specific bill to address increases in sentences for all firearms related offenses. That's what we're here to debate, and the reasons why. So all of the responses about what we are doing for young people, what we are doing for Imani, what we are doing to empower, youth biz, etc., is not a debate over the Firearms Amendment Bill. So that's distraction, but I will quickly respond on some of those issues. What we are doing for the Imanis, we are the ones who increase their salaries to $1,200 per month. What are we doing for the young people on youth biz? There are at least 65 of them who have gotten soft loans and training programs that are ongoing. The Minister for Housing, Social and Community Development is not here, but she's piloting parenting programs under the IRE program to address at-risk parents and at-risk youth. The Honorable Member for the Town of St. George talked about what other measures we need to do. We know that is where crime starts, from the home, from dysfunctioning families, from young men and women with no parents, or parents with poor parenting skills who themselves can't even cope with the challenges of life, much less parenting. And that is why the Minister for Social and Community Development has been at pains to champion the need for ensuring that in some cases we have to teach parenting, and she has been piloting that. What are we doing? We signed a memorandum of agreement with the Maria Holder Memorial Trust in Barbados to build the Father Malikan home, to rebuild the building there, to treat with young men who otherwise don't have a place to live. But that's not what the debate here is about this morning. So perhaps my distinguished and experienced colleague from St. Mark has not appreciated that yesterday marked 2 years since I was sworn in as Prime Minister. And she's missed the enormous amount of time we spent reporting to the nation at the various town hall, the last of which ended at around 11 o'clock last night in St. George, Northeast, where we were reporting about what we are doing in relation to the young men. Frontline. Well, crime doesn't begin and end in the magistrate's court in St. George's or St. Andrew or Carriacou. Crime takes place in the streets of Grenada, in the villages of Grenada. And being a criminal defense attorney doesn't make you, as compared to the rest of us or the rest of the citizens, any more on the front line of crime than we are. So a stone's throw away from where the young man was executed in Stock Corner is where myself, the Minister for Mobilization, Implementation and Transformation, and the MP for South St. George, and the MP for Northeast, where this crime happened, we were there on Saturday afternoon talking with the young men. He said to me, in the entire history of Grenada, no politician, no prime minister, no minister has ever come to them where they are, in their homes, in their streets. They sit down, passing the black van, you might go up in Benham or Willis. And if he was there, you would have thought it was a paramilitary exercise. So, Mr. Speaker, to the young parliamentarians watching the debate, this debate is about the Firearms Amendment Bill number 2, and specifically the amendments to the sentencing surrounding the Firearms Bill. So, when you can't address the subject, you will engage in distraction, throw mud, and hope something sticks. It's a technique. If the other side isn't paying attention, you might get away with it. But we are paying attention. The next technique is, if logic and reason fails, resort to passion and emotion. And so, the learned and distinguished friend, as we would say, if we were in the magistrate court or the high court, but the honorable MP for the town of St. George, as we would say in this house, admitted he didn't know we had Parliament today. Came back from New York last night, so I understand logic and reason wouldn't prevail here because he's probably not prepared. I notice he has not made reference to a single clause in the bill. So therefore, you resort to passion and you resort to emotion. And as I told the honorable leader of government business this morning, once a very good, learned and distinguished friend of both of us, who also practiced extensively at the criminal defense bar. We were in court once before the magistrate, who, a very senior magistrate, affectionately known as Chief. And we were, believe it or not, in Guam. And the magistrate court in Guam always has a certain theater to it. And there was an impassioned plea by defense counsel on behalf of his client. And the magistrate, somebody looked at him and said, "You talk good. You talk real good. But I will set up your client." And so you see, Mr. Speaker, we have to mix passion with logic, with empirical facts, and with truth. So let's do a little history lesson. You see, Mr. Speaker, some of us seem to forget, this is not about politics, it's about facts. Some of us seem to forget that we were in office. Some of us seem to forget, Mr. Speaker, that we had the opportunity. And in many instances, to their credit, we were working on things. So there's something called Caribbean Firearms Roadmap from since 2013, of which the then administration was part of which a focal point had been appointed to address this very issue of the state of Grenada's legislation in relation to firearms. And the report prepared under their administration, and I don't want to misquote them, so Mr. Speaker, so bear with me, let me find the report. The report clearly required the strengthening of Grenada's firearms legislation across the board. So this amendment, Mr. Speaker, on sentencing is just a start. Because the report clearly pointed out other loopholes in the legislation, specifically as it relates to brokerage in relation to firearms, explosives, transshipment, or international obligations in relation to other countries to report the tracing, the marking of firearms. It's a decade in the making. So the need to strengthen our firearms legislation is clear. And just so that the public understands the context of what we are dealing here, let me point this out, Mr. Speaker. Our Firearms Act dates back to 1968, pre-independence. It was amended in 1973, 1976, and in 1990. So there's been no major amendment for the last 30 years. We are now in 2024, Mr. Speaker, and the MP for St. Andrew Southwest gave some statistics about reported. Now, reported isn't convicted, because you could report stuff, the cases could to disappear, etc. I'm going to give up to 2023 and then up to 2024 the actual statistics in relation to convictions for firearms possession. 2019, 13. 2020, 10. 2021, 4. 2022, 11. 2023, 30. 2024, 6 months only, 35. Right? That is in relation to firearms actually confiscated by the police in the last 6 months. Now, Mr. Speaker, pursuant to the amnesty, 4 firearms and 131 rounds of ammunition have been handed in by persons, and I want to commend these persons for making use of the amnesty. And I want to take this opportunity to re-emphasize that the amnesty is in effect. The amnesty is in effect. We are encouraging persons who have illegal or illicit firearms, persons who know of persons who have illegal firearms and ammunition, to encourage them to take advantage of the amnesty. We are being transparent. We are being open. We are saying to you, the cart has been extended. Make use of the opportunity. Mr. Speaker, as we speak, there are ongoing active investigations where we are confident, based on my debriefing, that even more persons are going to be arrested and charged with firearms. So, Mr. Speaker, we want to encourage persons. The amnesty is in effect. Take advantage of the amnesty. We will do everything, Mr. Speaker, in our court in next month to highlight, to emphasize, to encourage persons to take advantage of the amnesty. I want to invite the honorable members on the other side to do so, because we indicated, Mr. Speaker, that we would amend the legislation to create stiffer penalties for persons who thereafter are found with illicit firearms. So, the Honorable MP for the town of St. George talks about corporate crime and tax crime and little man crime and poor man crime. All crime is crime. But more importantly, Mr. Speaker, I don't know how killing someone with a fire could ever be classified as insignificant. I don't know why maiming someone with a firearm could ever be classified as insignificant. What is the value of a firearm? What is it made for? It is made to kill. It is made to maim. Why would you want to encourage persons to have firearms? Why would we not do everything in our power to dissuade them from doing so? So, Mr. Speaker, when we look at the table of increases in the sentences, they are meant, Mr. Speaker, to send a clear message that from a values perspective, and I want to emphasize this, Mr. Speaker, we don't pass law for passing law's sake. The law must be reflective of the values of the society. If we are saying, as a society, public safety, public order, the preservation of life, the preservation of limb, trumps everything. If you are dead, there's no human rights to talk about. If you are dead, you can't fight over property. And therefore, Mr. Speaker, we have to make it clear that all laws reflect our values. And if our values is the sanctity of life, then we should do everything in our power to make sure that our law reflects that. So, Mr. Speaker, when we talk about things like the unlawful importation, exportation, transshipment of firearms, firearms are brought into Grenada. We want to make it clear that if you're caught engaging in this, the consequences will be confined. That they will be severe. What is the existing fine? If you are transshipping, importing, exporting unlawful firearms, the fine is $3,000. What's the message we're sending? Continue doing it. $3,000 summary conviction. Imprisonment 6 months. Mr. Speaker, I won't call any names. But I'll make this point. Two of the young men who were killed in the recent spate of gun violence. In one case, his first conviction was in 2012. Thereafter, he had 21 convictions. And his life came to an end abruptly. And I would just say before his natural time, in 2024. His first conviction was in 2012. Mr. Speaker, may I have 1 minute wrap up?
Granted.
His first conviction was in 2012. So for the next 14 years, sorry, for the next 12 years, 2024, 21 convictions, an average of almost 2 per year. The other one, his first conviction was in 2005. Thereafter, 26 convictions. 2005, 2004, 19 years. His life came to an end. Sometimes you actually save their lives by putting them in jail. It's a cold truth that is difficult sometimes to swallow. Sometimes you have to protect people from themselves. So, Mr. Speaker, I want to re-emphasize, as it was so clearly put by the MP for St. John, that this is simply one of the tools to combat the consequences of the illicit proliferation of firearms and the use of firearms within Grenada. And this is part of a broader regional strategy, Mr. Speaker, that we are treating with. I obviously don't have time, but there are lengthy reports coming from Carriacou Impacts that speaks to the trafficking of firearms, the impact it has had, and the measures that we need to take from a public health safety point of view, from a collaboration with our colleagues in the region, including, as you may be aware, Mr. Speaker, some of our countries have joined a lawsuit in the United States brought by Mexico against the gun manufacturers in the United States, because that is where the firearms are coming from. So, Mr. Speaker, I am grateful for the indulgence that you granted to me, and I too strongly recommend and support the enactment of the bill. Thank you.
That was our presentation there from our Honorable Prime Minister.
Well, is that what is there to contest? What is there to oppose?
But if you remember, I mentioned earlier on that the word distraction was used.
Mm-hmm.
Now, just imagine that while the debate on amnesty and gun control is going on, the leader of the opposition,
mm-hmm.
This is his presentation on amnesty. You know, we're talking amnesty, but listen what he's talking about. Hold on. Let me see what he's talking about. Yeah, he's speaking about this, yes.
We are not saying what we did was perfect, but we're saying to cut those programs out because it was started by NNP is backward, so to speak. So, Imani, I mean, it's a simplistic approach, I heard. We increased the money by $1,200. That's your solution to the money? What nonsense is this? Am I listening? Am I really listening? Am I listening, Mr. Speaker, at $1,200? Because I did agree. The money program was not meant to about amount of money. It was about training and mindset and development, Mr. Speaker. That's what it's meant to be. You talk, give me a chance, Mr. Prime Minister. Take it, Mrs. Prime Minister. You want to take it? Take it. Well, stop bad talk.
Okay,
back,
hello.
Back in the Mrs.
Honorable.
Imagine we're discussing gun amnesty, and he has taken the lead to discuss Imani and other things like that inside Parliament.
But here,
and
Imani is meant to a program to train youngsters.
Mm-hmm.
And you have Imani in Rum Shop, you know.
Yes.
It's wrong.
And not only in Rum Shop, but I know of some Imanis, as he mentioned, for 2 years, they're supposed to be trained and then go out into their society to find work based on the training, right? I know some of them been training for 14, 15, 18 years.
Because I know of people in Carriacou, because of the connection, they get a money to put in the room shop, sell the room for them while they go on to the business. What training is that? Tell me what training is that? And it was very boy.
But we're speaking gun amnesty, you know?
I know, yeah.
But this is his contribution.
Mm-hmm.
And no wonder why he didn't stay to the end to vote, because he wasn't concerned about that. He ain't concerned about nothing to do with the country violence or putting crime under control and things. He's not concerned about that. Just imagine, that's Diablo.
Yeah, you want to bring in a topic.
Yes.
That well, not only the distraction, but is good, and it speaks to the base, you know. So when it goes down that way, you have to back up, you know, because if this person, they always tell you, do not fight with a pig in the mud, because the pig has home court advantage.
Yeah.
Understand? So that area that is going in there, it's bad like that in that segment. So it'll always be the winner. Stay away from it.
Definitely. And not even that, his colleagues too, especially mentioned there was one from St. Mark's, was on the same page. They're singing from the same hymn book, the same song, because that's it. And when time comes for voting,
they abstain.
Right. One refused, he left. One abstained, or two abstained.
Well, those people, I guess, we have to do what we have to do. We can abscond entirely.
Mm-hmm. And this is now, and as you realize that too, you know, that the distraction that they tried to do there, and the way he was behaving, created some sort of disciplinary from the House, from the Speaker of the House.
Administered quite a few times.
And listen to a little bit of what transpired. Listen to this.
I would tolerate a certain amount of bickering and exchange, right, in the House. But once it becomes disturbing and confusional, I'm going to stop it. So bickering to a certain extent will be tolerated. But I urge you to control what you're saying and your emotions. Also, you know, His Majesty's opposition.
Yes.
You seem to have become very emotional.
I have a right, Mr. Speaker.
Yes. Listen to me, please.
I have a right.
Listen to me, please.
Yes.
And then once you become very emotional, our language.
What's wrong with my language, Mr. Speaker?
We have to take care of.
What was wrong with my language, Mr. Speaker?
Honorable Leader of the Opposition.
Mr. Speaker, what was wrong with my language?
Please. Honorable Leader, the Speaker is on his feet. Can you sit?
Yes, I could take it. Yeah, go ahead. You're the boss. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm not expecting that later.
I sir.
Yes.
I listened to the honorable gentleman making reference to language used here.
Yes.
How people speak. Making reference to people reading. I, as Speaker, I'm aware of the standing orders. And so the honorable gentleman must know that the Speaker may use his discretion. I'm sure the honorable gentleman knows this. And so in the same vein, when the honorable gentleman urge and encourage members to speak in a certain way and context, I, as Speaker, trying to ensure that what you advise this House stayed across the floor. So that it's not just language for one set of people, but language for the House and the chamber. Honorable Leader of His Majesty Opposition, and I will invite you to continue.
The MANI program is a program meant to empower, to develop, and to aid and support.
Gentlemen, you hear that? We're back on the money program right now. Talking about gun amnesty.
I tell you.
Imani program. So after he was stopped on what he was doing and everything like that, in the debate, and it was made reference, that we should be discussing gun amnesty at this time. That's what Parliament.
Stay on topic.
Yeah.
Stay on topic. Don't go.
We're talking gun amnesty.
Not about $1,200 or $1,000 or $500. This is not about the money. In fact, we do not have any money program right now. Because the money program came, you were supposed to come into a program for 2 years, train and get some self. Mr. Speaker, you just spoke. Please give me a chance. And I respect the father of the house at least. Although you say self-style, father, look in the Hansard and you'll see who came up with it. It was not mine, came from me. But I'm saying, Mr. Speaker.
Oh, sorry. I remember for St. George Northeast.
Mr. Speaker, I'm standing on a point of order. Section 39 of the standing order is relevant to the bill that is before us. What is the relevance of mentioning the Imani program? So, Mr. Speaker, for clarity, can the member provide relevance? Why he is talking about the state of the Imani program when we are dealing with the amendments to the Firearms bill?
All right, your point is made, Honorable.
Mr. Speaker, this is my report win. Mr. Speaker.
Honorable.
Mr.
Honorable
Speaker.
Leader, I just, Honorable Leader of the Opposition, yes. I just advise you to watch your language.
Manje Papa?
Yes.
That's a normal word, Mr. Speaker.
In Parliament?
Yes.
Okay.
It's a normal word, Mr. Speaker, if you don't know the history. But imagine someone gets up on a point of order. No point of order. He doesn't even understand the basic fundamentals of a point of order. And that's why they will never learn, because they are never interested in listening and taking advice. They will never learn. They will never learn, Mr. Speaker. But let me add, you seem like I'm really touching some corns this morning. Yeah, I will continue to talk that. I hope, Mr. Speaker, you're taking the time for a lot of interventions that took place here this morning. The Father House must be at least be respected in what he is doing in this house, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, so you're meant to help train young people, create programs, and if the government comes up with any program to aid the...
Enough of that. Imani, every time Imani. That's all he could talk about. And the purpose of Imani, the 2 years training, which is
no relevance is the topic at hand.
No, because he was not interested. And this is one of the reasons I'm saying why I believe that he left and speak about going to some graduation, which is maybe more important than what's going on in Parliament with the people's business.
But it's a strategy that some politicians, and again, I must always allude to the United States, when they have nothing of substance to offer, they change course. Mm-hmm. That is why you see my girl, Margaret Taylor Greene, they were discussing one thing, she jumped on something else and left herself open to punishment from young Jasmine Crockett,
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
She took a punch direct on the nose.
Yep.
For talking foolishness when what you bring is not germane to what we were discussing. Mm-hmm. Leave it out of it.
Yeah.
So it's a strategy. I think it taking the training from the Republicans in America.
Uh-huh.
There are too many similarities, so many parallels there. I understand why you're saying one thing, you're saying the other.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But just so, I mean, since I don't know if you still want us to continue.
No, go ahead.
Mm-hmm. Because since after the town hall here in Carriacou.
Yeah.
And I thought it was a very good meeting, and must commend the Minister for Carriacou and Diplomatic Affairs for presenting a video that was the talk of the town. It was really a good one.
It was.
And the only thing that came close to it is the teaching hospital and the renderings for that program.
Mhm.
It was so very impressive that I would like to commend those who are responsible for that. And to crown it all, you know what my it is that we were assured by our goodly Prime Minister that indeed the port is coming to Carriacou and that or to Hillsborough, and that we're moving in the right direction. So I'd like to thank him for that, because you know I always believed that he's a man of his word, and once the promise was made, it will be kept. So I think, Kim, we're the ones who've been, well, so burdened or inconvenienced by the port. It's now time to put our boots on and help to run with the progress of the port being moved back to Hillsborough, its
Definitely.
rightful place where it belongs.
Yeah. Mhm.
See, because I don't know. Every time I speak, the people say, well, they seem to, and both the minister and the prime minister, Mr. Joseph, the port is going to come back. Well, I don't want you to believe it's Mr. Joseph Port alone, because it's not only Mr. Joseph that was inconvenienced by the movement of the port. More than 70% of Carriacou.
Well, yes, and Pitimaticans as well, too.
Well, the Carriacou, of
Yeah,
course,
uh-huh.
you know, and well, the cost was exorbitant, and the practicality of the port being where it is from a marine point of view, I don't know. It was as far as I'm concerned, it was a lose situation for us, moving the port for where it rightfully belongs. And I think somebody as myself, who grew up here in Carriacou and have been involved with Carriacou's businesses for better than 60 years, must find fault with they doing what they did, because the port, it wasn't put there because it didn't belong there, you know. And it wasn't, there were some people who were thinking of the place that is best for Carriacou and Carriacouans. Centrally located, with some of the marine qualities that cannot be compared. No place else in Carriacou. Turba is good, yes. Nobody was a little yacht even. Nobody says no. But to move your main port of entry, not only jetting, but port services, customs and immigration, where you don't have to go one place for customs, another place for immigration, and all this hogwash that is going on. For whose benefit and for what sake? So I'm hoping that we of Carriacou continue to support our Prime Minister.
Definitely.
He's promised to.
Let me just hold that. We're going to come back on that for a little while. Vibes FM, what's up, caller? What's up, caller? Come in. Hello, what's up, caller? You're on. Let me see. I think maybe. Let me see if I could get WhatsApp caller back again. Hello, please stay there. Let me see. WhatsApp caller. All right. Okay. We sort of lost that caller for a little while. We're going to come back on that day. But you mentioned what was said by the port.
Yeah.
The update that was given to us at the town hall meeting. Listen to what he said.
If we can go to a matter that is now local, and that is the port. I think we have a report on the state of the port at Hillsborough. So I looked through our manifesto commitment to the people of Pitimatic and Carriacou before coming here, because I wanted to make sure that you hold us accountable. And we had an unequivocal commitment to repair or rebuild the Hillsborough jetty. And I want to point out that we are committed to doing so. Through the generosity of citizens of Pitimatic and Carriacou, a report was commissioned by an engineering firm last year to survey the Hillsborough jetty. They have made two recommendations. One is to demolish what they view as the older part of the jetty, the part that was constructed first, and then repair the jetty, or alternatively demolish the entire jetty and build a more enhanced or improved jetty. This is my preference. I am not saying the government has agreed on that as yet. My preference would be to demolish the entire jetty and build a new jetty. page 56, but it doesn't matter, I'll hold it. Now, we've also gotten some preliminary costings for what it will cost to repair and to rebuild. The estimated costs, and in construction, the cost only lasts about 14 days. Every 14 days, the code changes. The estimated costs, and that's genuine because we import all our materials and ship and so on. The estimated cost for a new build is around the region of $2.5 million US. The estimated cost for a renovation is around 1.5, give or take, million US dollars. So we have an extra million, assuming the estimates are accurate, if we want to do a new build. The reason I favor a new build is because I think it gives us the opportunity to actually enhance the port and to provide additional services for all of the potential end users, as well as we need to build with the future in mind, not the past. We expect that under the sterling leadership of your MP, that economic activity, economic growth and development in PT Martinique and Carriacou will continue galloping. And so we need to make sure that we support that by having the right infrastructure in place that can facilitate the continued growth and development of economic activity. So my own preference would be to in fact have the jetty demolished and have a new one built. The MP, I'm going to task him with having more intense consultations with you to share the report, specifically the recommendations, the costing. We even have drawings as well in the report. And then once we get a consensus as to whether it's to build or renovate, then we will move to the next stage, which is then to have the detailed engineering drawings done. We will then have to have tendering so that contractors can bid. And then the next stage will be to move to awarding a contract for the construction of the jetty. I'm saying all of this to say we are committed to getting the renovated or the new jetty built within the first term of our administration. So Mr. Joseph, rest assured, I want to be able to come back to the PT Martinique and Carriacou peacefully. I don't want to be declared persona non grata. I want to make sure that I still get my curry goat and my dumpling and my rice and peas. So we are committed to ensuring that this happens. I shared with the MP a detailed schedule provided by the Grenada Airports Authority on ongoing work to make sure that we can fly into Carriacou at night on a plane. The time has come. Carriacou can't be a country where you only get to in the day by air. Right? The time has come for us to be able to operate the airport at night. So the obstacle lighting is actually being erected as we speak. The team is working on it, and we will do everything in our power to be able to make sure that if this doesn't happen before the end of this year, that by hopefully the first half of next year, we're in a position to get like the night landing effective and operational. MP for PT Martinique and Carriacou, can I ask you to make a recommendation to the people to get their response?
Okay.
Well, you see, the thing that I think one of his biggest attributes is that he's quite receptive to things that make sense. Because when he's on his first visit to Carriacou after a successful run for PM and the government was successful, he said he doesn't understand why is it that anybody in the right mind or the right head will remove a port of entry from your city. Everywhere else you go, people trying to build
the city.
The city.
That's where it's at.
So you just go, you remove the thing for no other reason than to fatten somebody's pocket. And what is so sad, and you keep saying that over and over to people, that the money that was spent in Tilbury would have given us a new jet in Carriacou, an extended one in Tilbury, and a new one in Windward.
Easily.
And you still have change to
because
to front.
if you listen to what he said there in the report, there was 2.5 million US to get a brand new port, right? So if you calculate 2.5 million US, it's just about maybe 7 million
Million
EC.
And mind you,
Uh-huh.
and I'm sorry to cut you, and mind you, that figure that was expended is not today, it's about 5 or 6 years ago. So, it wasn't bigger money then, if you see what I'm saying.
Right.
Because as the Prime Minister quite rightly noted, as time goes by, things go up in cost.
Right. So the comparison I was going to make in that you spend approximately $19 million in the Tyrrell Bay area, you could have gotten about 3 ports. One in Hillsborough, one in Wynwood, one in Petitmatnick. What? You did calculations?
And I just had costs, there's ancillary costs that brings it up. And I think we're still paying. We're still paying. And if we settle the bill with the Privy Council yet.
Okay, yeah, that was another added expense.
Of course.
When they're trying to...
Because when you remember that all taxpayers' money was being spent not only to challenge the High Court in Grenada, in the appellate division, which we lost again.
We went to the Privy Council?
We paid to go to the Privy Council, and when those guys go up in the Privy Council, it's not peanuts, It's big money that's been spent, and when they do those things, they don't trust it to the local lawyers. You have to go to Trinidad or to Barbados or to elsewhere.
And not only that, you have to have a partner in there, because not anybody just could appear before the Privy Council. So I'm just saying that a law firm in
England.
In England,
has
to be involved.
That's what I'm saying. So it's big bread. And the fact of the matter, they were telling us the last administration that is, we built you a beautiful port, a good port.
State of the art?
State of the art. But everything is being done in secret. I know that is bubble to me. If anything you do not night and you don't want people to know, bubble.
Yeah, definitely.
Bubble, yes.
Under the cover.
You're afraid police. You're afraid police. Boy, you're afraid police. Them people. It's so wicked. It's so sad. Yeah, but anyway, I think, again, as promised, in case what else happens, because I noticed Laco have a big new establishment, and I think it's a one-stop.
Yeah, right. Yeah, definitely. That's what they're making it.
Whole
Carriacou.
Crematorium, chapel, everything else
again. It works.
And I know you're looking like for people like me for business. So, but before you get to me, I want to see the port.
Really? So you think is people like you targeting?
So what you think you believe for? You think you believe for infants?
Yeah, infants are there too.
Well,
but no.
Rule of thumb.
But one of the things, I'm glad that you bring up the issue and you put it in perspective, in the sense that it was something needed, and we all can express appreciation to the fact that it's going to happen soon. Another thing, to me, that stood out strong, very, very, very strong in the town hall, was the announcement that we know will be having H.A. Blaise Airport
all those good
in
things.
Carriacou. No, I don't know for many people if that mean anything, but I think when we talk in Carriacou and Petitmatnick, Daddy Blaise. I don't know if they'll put Daddy Blaise Airport, but whatever it is.
H.A. Blaise.
H.A. Blaise, yes.
H.A. Blaise Airport.
Yes, I know. I'm just
yeah.
But yeah, and that means something. Look at how we name our streets. We have no foreign names, and people all over the place are talking about, thinking. Let the generation come in, understand what who is Patterson, for example. Yes, and these are Carriacouans. I'm saying names mean a lot. Names mean a lot. It protects your history. Yeah,
that's an operative word.
Yeah,
because we're too short on history, and that our youngsters nowadays is what's happening today. By the time we get to yesterday, is old school, so they're not dealing with it anymore.
Yeah,
today and the future. Today is happening, so it will happen now. We don't know the future, but we're not using our history to teach us lessons learned from what you experienced. We're not doing that every time. I tell her to chuckle when I had a conversation with somebody as Mrs. Menz, another Carriacouan, who's giving human service to Carriacou from a social point of view. Nobody can shortchange Mrs. Menz. 108 years old. And no admonition to the Prime Minister. Leo, when you go down, tell the Prime Minister, say, listen to both sides, but think for yourself. And tell all young people, I say, if you're not going to do something right, don't do it. Mrs. Menz.
Yeah.
You know, I remember you were on this very program talking about our contribution to the community.
I'm telling you.
You know, and again, talking about names, I'm talking about, you know, keeping our history intact by, I mean, I don't see why Mrs. Menz cannot be the Judith Menz Community Center. for example, you know, we need to put these things as part of our growing up, our lifestyle.
You see, these are things that people
don't
know. They're not aware of it.
And I must ask, why you call Judith Menz? Because she's the one who started it.
Yeah.
She's the one who said, no, enough talking, we acting, get up, let's go and bring sand on the floor. Mrs. Menz, you know. And, you know, them days when Mrs. Menz speak here for them, everybody listen. And you never took big when Mrs. Menz said, let's go. She meant it.
Yeah, that's it.
And it pains me. I was trying, I spoke with this and neighbor, I spoke to this, that. Nobody ever see the need. And when you don't know your history, you don't know where you're coming from, obviously you don't know where you're going.
Definitely. And that's the thing there. Now, speaking about the airport, the announcement was made. What I'd like about the announcement when it was done is that the Prime Minister gave our minister the opportunity
to make the announcement.
Yeah, well,
I was hoping that Prime Minister would make the announcement, but since he gave me the task, it's a big announcement, and the recommendation is to rename the airport to what? There you have it. So the intention is when we could accommodate the night landing, the first plane will be loaded with the government official, including the Prime Minister and others. We land on the H.A. Blaze Airport, and we officially open and launch and bless and everything. That's the intention. So there you have it. Breaking news.
But you see how, I mean, there wasn't any discussion, you know. Like it was a unanimous thing. H.A. Blaze.
Yes.
The will of the people.
That's it.
What do people want?
Just ask them. What are we going to name it?
Yeah, H.A. Blaze.
That's it. The people are asking for it. And this is where people come in now, because they must be recognized. I mean, you're working for the people. And this is the request. Why not honor the request? That's it, you know. So that's we're going to have now the night landing. And on the first time they're going to land there in the lights, in the night, that would be a big night, boy.
Oh, yeah, man.
Light it up.
Well, I suppose you'll be on that first trip, Leo.
As long as I could make it. Is there room for me?
No, if there room for you. Somebody on the chat is also saying that we should have the. By the way, Sir Joseph, what was the initial of your middle name?
C.
So somebody is suggesting that when everything is built and so on and commissioned, we should name it Leo C. Joseph Port.
But it's a big stretch. If they give me a room, I want the whole port. Just on the room. But you know,
yeah. Well, I mean, this is of course I understand. I mean, and you understand the context. But
somebody suggested to me a while ago. Okay, let me just cut it quickly. Go back there. Now, it says just name it Port Leo.
But you see, the thing is, you guys don't understand the relevance of this thing, you know, because for somebody as myself who've been fighting for Carriacou issues for that long, and for somebody to remove something as tongue jetty, you know.
Yeah.
Tongue jetty.
That was the jetty. I remember coming into town as a little boy, and guys like you know, you guys were privy to be the custodians of the jetty.
Yeah.
all the jumping off and fishing. And we used to feel a kind of way about it sometimes. But that was the spot. That was the spot.
Yeah.
That was where things were happening.
Matinee.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean,
Everything.
that's a social event, you know. I mean, when people used to leave their home, dress and put everything in place and say, I'm going on by the boat coming, reaching up here, 4 o'clock, they organize and go. And if you see people, you know, they might not be expecting anybody or anything.
You best attire. Because you think, you know, you're going Matinee, you're going to see who come.
I'm going to see who come.
So, but that meant something to us.
It did, you know.
So we must appreciate what is our history, heritage.
That was one of the reasons, Mr. Joseph, if you remember, why they had to put a gate by the jetty. Too much people.
Yeah, you go and come and see who come. Come see who come. On the jetty, they can get this and stuff. The place full on you.
Another thing that the jetty is known for, and if one can recall, I mean, you go on the jetty and you take a dive, throw yourself in the water, all kind of games.
That's it.
There, I mean, that front there, so Leo has a lot of history, a lot of experience. You know, for growing up in this place.
You sail your wooden boats.
Yeah.
You catch your big
Coconut
jacks.
the coconut
boat, the corn boat. Just about everything is part of your culture, heritage. That is right there. You're right there. You just take it and you remove it. For what reason, I do not know. And then you pull your money, pull your pocket of money and you go about your business. Leave Carriacou. Lord, God knows best, but we're
in the right direction.
We're
moving in the right direction.
And I'm so very proud, and so far, my Prime Minister has not disappointed me yet. Nobody is perfect. There's going to be mistakes as you go along, but I could tell you, the young gentleman, I think, is heading in the right direction. As everything else, is a politician, for Christ's sake. Sometimes you have to say things not even so, but to get from A to B. You have to do that. But he's been trying and noting who the alternative is. I must admire him more.
Yeah.
Because I don't want the alternative to come by at all. We had enough of that foolishness.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the alternative at the higher level or at the lower level?
Higher level. In other words, if it's not this Prime Minister,
okay.
So we'll see. No.
I was just wondering if we're talking about locally, the alternative. But I get it.
Yes.
I get it.
Leadership, man. Leadership. So we must do what we must do to enhance Carriacou. I want to see. Listen, man. Hillsborough, and like it, if you will, you know, it might not be in my lifetime, but Carriacou just now is going to be on an upward trajectory, and I want to see my children and my grandchildren, who is as much excited as Carriacou as I am, to have a better place to enjoy. And I even know I'm more convinced, and knowing what happened in the great US, a lot of people have to run just now, you know.
Yep, definitely.
We have space here to accommodate everybody.
Well, I know, but I just want that my family, who I worked hard enough for giving them preference, they want a place in Carriacou for them. So who want to say in America is the business just now when the fire started to light.
And as you were speaking, you know, I remember the Prime Minister mentioning that too. I don't have the old clip here, but he was mentioning that with the development that's taking place in Carriacou, Pitimatnik now, which has been exposed to the world now, we're going to be seeing a lot more visitors, people coming here to enjoy what we have here.
And you know what is sad, Kim? If we don't use it, we lose it. And when you see people who come from away and see what is possible here and see what a paradise we have and make full use of it, somewhere down the road, the indigenous folks here will start to complain, but we didn't use it, so we lose it.
That's it.
So, I mean, this is what we have. We have the best, just about everything else.
I mean, and because we are known as seafarers and people of the sea, with boats and so on and so forth. Look at where this underwater sculpture is.
Yeah.
I mean, all these things add up. When you link all those things together, we are tightening our development so that everybody can understand what it is and enjoy what it's about.
But so, and we're going to have a lot more visitors again, as
That's
just
visitors.
mentioned. Coming for the underwater sculpture. That's going to be
Well, diving is a big thing.
Yeah, and it's a big thing already.
Big things get bigger.
That's it. And look at where it's going to be too, as well, too, in our area by Sandy Island.
Yeah.
So, and that area is already a popular area for visitors, snorkeling, diving, and stuff like that.
It's the best. It's the underwater garden that exists in Sandy Island.
So right there and then, definitely that we're going to be in for a lot of traffic coming in. Vibes FM, landline caller coming. Landline caller.
Good morning. Good morning.
Yes, good morning. Yes.
To the panel, while you are naming buildings, I would like to consider a building next to the community center. That is the
Farmers Building.
Carriacou Farmers Association, the CFA. I would like that building to be named Linda Maturin Building, CFA. Thank you very much.
Quite welcome. Quite welcome.
And speaking about that area where the cultural center, that's what it's going to be, cultural center going to be built in that area because they have enough space. They've already done that there. And also we're going to have a lawn tennis court,
well, the complex then.
It's complex. Yeah. It's going to be all taking place there.
Well, you have steep competition because that I don't know, the community center was there first.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So
the community center was there first, and since again, Mrs. Judith Mens, somebody who's made a serious contribution, especially to the social and cultural aspect of Carriacou, to Linda Maturin and PPM.
Okay. We're not leaving anybody out?
No. PPM.
Definitely.
He's my favorite farmer in Carriacou.
He is.
Yeah.
And he's dedicated to the task.
A young man that I admire greatly. You can't put PPM in no Imani program, No devotion program.
No.
He has his own mind and his own ambition. So.
No, and speaking about PPM, which during the course of the week we had another chat again. But I remember last week on the program, he called and he made a contribution, and it was a worthwhile contribution when he said that he believed that the area in the Limle farm that was used for the solar project was
wrongly placed.
Because that's a prime
agricultural land.
So true.
He said we could have located that someplace else.
And even more on a higher elevation.
Yes.
Yeah.
More wind.
Yeah. So I mean, I think I thought about it afterward all during the week. I said, but that makes a lot of sense. Why couldn't we have had a discussion before? But of course, that's past. But
quickly, I'll tell you why that discussion did not take place. Because in those days, with that former administration, there was no consultation.
Oh God!
So they did whatever they wanted to do, whatever idea came up, whether it was a good idea, bad idea, whatever. They just went along with it. And when this government took office, they tried. I could tell you that because I had discussions with some of those involved. They tried to see if they could move it, but because it was already it was a grant, it was ready to start to go to whatever. That would have been a delayed process one, and maybe they might have lost the grant, so they decided to go along with it. But that was a big error. It's still a big error. And if possible, in the future, I don't know what could be done now to, really recover that piece of land there that's been used for the purpose. But
it may not be as easy to recover the land.
No.
What another windmill they have there for?
No, the solar. That's the solar panels. Solar panels. The windmill, the one for the windmill for the wind farm, they were doing some work in the area of Top Hill, monitoring the speeds of the wind and consistency and things like that for a while. But that program was just dropped out of the blue just like that, without no proper reason. Because I remember Grenneck, they were trying to, find out exactly how could they move it forward, but it was pushed away so far they can't get that one back. So that's it there. But hopefully in the very near future, they might be able to get more of that going again and get maybe some sort of a grants and stuff like that to do a study to see what's best, for renewable energy.
And don't forget, the one that has intoxicated, if you will, is the teaching hospital, You didn't see the rendering and the ideas, the plan, and this. Well, talking about magic purport, that plan is not no magic purport. That plan is something that is for somebody to see and behold, and the vision of these people. We're going big. We're not thinking about just tomorrow. We're thinking few years down the road.
And you know, if that was done in the past, thinking about today, 20, 30 years ago, we'd have been better off now, because those years gone by, people would have been planning for today. So what we're doing now, we have to think about the future, not just think something that we can just rush to now. And so that concept and the idea of a teaching hospital with all the villages around,
the villages around, hotel, and accommodation for retirement people and so on.
Yeah.
You know, so many
people. A research center, places where you can, you know, in the technology, you can research things in medical. I mean, this.
And something that you probably didn't give much thought to, a helicopter pad.
Yes.
Well, that was featured in the same teaching hospital.
Yeah, helicopter of course.
Pad in Carriacou.
Yeah.
So in other words, now the emergencies we would have could be attended to much easier than what we have right now by Osprey,
you know,
or
so many people are going to attract, and they're talking about tourist medicine because there's so many people in North America who can't afford medical attention, or because they don't have the proper insurance and so on and so forth. And some of the insurances, they're not prepared to pay the cost of some procedures. As if it's happening, say, probably here in Carriacou or Grenada, half the cost, quarter the cost. You could kill a few birds with one stone. You come here, get your medical attention, and there's a hotel on site, stay there and recover. And
Definitely, but that's the way it is. Let me remind our listeners, okay, that our telephone number 443-0101, 443-0101, 439-0101, and our WhatsApp numbers are 1473 534 3097 and 403 0101. Somebody's making a comment here from New York, and it says, "Good morning, gentlemen. I'm in class in New York, listening to the PM and the voice notes that was played there." And also went on to mention and says, you know, that Keita's lost his head since after the last election. I think that
you ever had it? It wasn't say lost his head. You ever had it at all?
Well, Vice FM, landline caller coming. Hello.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning. Yes.
What a pity you're calling from the bus terminal in St. George, but I can't hear it on radio.
Okay. Yes,
I'm on Facebook, and I have to move from Facebook to phone.
Yes.
Anyway,
okay.
I could talk to you.
Yes, go right ahead. Yeah.
Now, I hear Dr. Mitchell when you replay what he said yesterday. Now, school children will have problems in listening that the topic is concerning the gun amnesty, the penalty and whatnot. And Dr. Mitchell said that and go talking about the money.
Yes, yeah.
Dr. Mitchell does not have anything good in him concerning Grenada.
Well, we know that.
And every time he opens his mouth, he's showing it, but a lot of his supporters doesn't see it. I mean, here is the subject matter. In fact, if I was the speaker, I would pull him up.
Yeah, I would have thrown him out.
Let's deal with the subject matter and nothing else. The time we give you is on the subject matter. He tried to make a mockery of the parliament there. So
yes.
He come with his own subject. No, this not to be discussed. What is on the other paper is what we're dealing with. But this man getting older and he ain't having no shame, nothing. I mean, he must realize there are people, children who might be listening to him.
He ain't care about that.
So what you're telling the teacher putting up subject on the board and coming up with something else. So who in charge of the class?
Yeah. Yep.
And then look, he talking about the money is for training for 2 years, but you have them there for 18 years.
Yes.
I mean, look, the Prime Minister increased because they work in it. They're no longer training, they work in. So he increased the salary by $500 to bring it up to what the minimum wage is supposed to be. He should have happy about that. But here his response, as if the $500, the $1,200 is
no big
nothing.
deal. Yes, there's no big deal. That's what he's saying.
So you're going to keep training the same. some of them in Imani turn grandparents, you know.
Uh-huh.
Because they did for 18 years. I train in Nawasa. They tell me I'm on probation for 1 year. And it's up to me to make good use of it if I want the job. And within 6 months, I was able to handle the job.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
Now you want to train people from until they die?
Yeah.
I mean, this whole NNP concept, Grenadians should never be thinking about voting for the party, even if it changed leadership and holds a new candidate. Because the blood still runs inside all of their veins. I don't understand this gentleman. Keith Mitchell, the best thing he could have done, let's say the report sick. Don't go in the parliament. Because what he do there and nothing.
And he didn't stay around to vote. Again, I had to run out.
But that is him. Whenever they have discussion in parliament, most of the time when he finishes speaking, he takes his suitcase, he already has some assignment to attend. So it's not something new. But I mean, come on, it shows that that's his hallmark. So are you inside a little small for me to listen to?
Yeah.
If Dr. Mitchell forced have to speak, when he finishes, he's gone, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
You have nobody else to listen.
Caller?
That is respect.
Caller, according to Black Wizard, the name of the establishment should be changed from NNP to NNM. The new national mentality. It's not a party. It's
what always I say.
it's a mentality. So
come on. I mean, it is a disgrace. And he talking about the father. Who tell him he's the father of parliament? who give him that title?
Yeah, but the father
who first run the parliament in Grenada? So Eric Gary was the first prime minister. So call him the father of parliament.
But
that is rubbish. We had inside talking all kind of stupidness, and nothing good for Grenada could come from his mouth. Huh? Watch, you see the thing that started with Sheldon Scott.
Oh God!
I want the Attorney General open up the rest. The one with call center, because it takes state fund. Now he'll shot at Andy because the Grenada Development Bank give Andy a loan. But you will see the crookedness in that. And he feels Grenadians forget. Andy applied for the loan when Keith Mitchell was in office.
Yes.
My first born, I think, was 2018, somewhere around there. Keith Mitchell was in office. But these loans doesn't come through the same time. When NDC get in office, that is when the loan come through. But his remark was that he would not let his MPs to get any loan from the bank, but it takes state fund and give it to Dennis Campbell and others to run call center.
State funds.
I don't understand this guy's state funds.
Like cousin Dennis, you know, behave yourself.
But come on, cousin Dennis in his medical too, you know.
Yeah, I know.
Cousin Dennis was my manager in our side, you know.
Yeah, I'm a schoolmate.
So it's not that I don't know him. I know him very well. He was my manager in our side. And he take the money and give him. And when Michael Batt is ready in Parliament, he said, "You pay it back, not 1 cent pay back." So I don't. What did this disgrace? Anyway, he done an over. There's a guy that boss, and nobody can find him. So we are going to fight.
Okay.
Okay.
All the best.
All right.
All
Take
the
care.
best. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so
Same
much.
to you.
Okay. Next landline caller. Thank you for waiting. Caller, come in.
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Yeah. Good afternoon. Yeah.
A good day, and the listening audience.
Okay.
Basically, what the caller mentioned is all this I wanted to talk about, you know, about the Imani, first of all.
Yeah.
Could you imagine the NDC, the new administration, raised the wages of the Imani from 7, right, to 1,002, yeah?
That's correct, yeah.
And he have a problem with that? What's wrong with this guy? Would you talk? He should set mute on this thing. You don't think so?
Yeah.
Definitely.
Look at the stadium, for instance, the cricket. Do you know they're working on the stadium at the moment? Chinese?
Yeah.
And Keith blaming the new administration for not hosting a T20 game here in Grenada when he was there before the 2 years now. When they could have worked on the stadium, they've done nothing.
Yeah.
Would you blame the new administration for not having a game because St. Lucia, Dominica, and not Dominica,
St. Vincent,
You're jealous, and you think he's this cricket fan, so he loves cricket. So it's shame. So you want to blame the new administration for not having a T20 game yet. Could you believe that?
Yeah. That's I heard it.
And stating in Parliament he's the grandpa. What make him grandpa of Parliament? And if you are grandpa or father, would you get on in that manner? I was baffled, you know.
Yeah. Well,
by the way he ran in and waved. But you know what is his problem? You see, when he still have the idea that he Prime Minister in his head, you know?
Yeah.
And he should be calling the shot. So he think the people there knew. And here's a statement he made. When he leave in Parliament to go to the graduation, you all shouldn't be having Parliament this time. You could tell him the government went to host Parliament. You don't find me out of order with that?
Well, definitely, because he's out of touch. You know, you guys don't realize he's really out of touch.
Yeah, showing power. You all shouldn't be having Parliament on time like this. That's the government business.
Yep.
The people business.
Definitely.
So I find this man is losing it, you know.
Yeah, well, he
lost it.
He lost it. As I call it,
everything is a confusion, a melee for him.
That's his style.
And he's using word to the effect of manje popot. He's the manje popot inside here, you know.
Well, if it's patois you want to talk, it's salopui.
Huh?
I said, if it's patois you want to talk, it's any manje popot, it's salopui.
And you don't see the way you walking out in Parliament with the tight pants and the 2 foot. You don't get that. Like, you know, when you calling the young man fair and high feeling up there. Kids still feeling up there, you know.
Yeah.
Just you walk out in Parliament.
Yeah. Yeah, man,
okay, Carla.
Yeah, these people are failures.
All right. Yeah, man.
Have a good day.
Thank you so much. Yeah. What's up, caller? Thank you for waiting. Coming. What's up, caller? Coming.
Yes, Mr. Kiliman, Mr. Joseph, and Mr. Coy. Good morning.
Good morning, sir. How are you? Good morning.
Morning.
I want to touch on the whole issue with the debate in Parliament over the gun.
Yes, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Sometimes people might believe when a man make a statement, we say he slip on the tongue and different things of that sort. When the opposition leader said he didn't see anyone that capable of leading the party, a lot of people think that maybe it was a slip of the tongue. But sometimes when you hear people say something, they speak truly what is in their mind. Now, the voting aspect come about in the Parliament. The opposition leaders must have known that there will be a time when you have to vote on the bill. We're talking about violence. A lot of blame was made to the police and the Prime Minister not doing nothing to cause the violence and all different things. Now it's just so interesting in the safety and the security and the lives of people. Even though, I'm not saying you can't go to a graduation, but even though you have to go to the graduation, you will say, you know what? People's lives are at stake. People's lives are involved. I made so much complaint they was not doing anything. Now they are doing something. I will stay back to give my support. What he did, he made his speech in no reference to the gun control issue and the bill, the illegal, not just gun control. We just miss out the keyword there, the illegal
use of firearms.
possession of firearms.
Yeah.
People tend to miss that word, the illegal and the possession of unlicensed firearm, expiry licensed firearm in your possession and things of that sort. It's not a bill passing for legal possession. So, first, he demonstrates no consideration was given in studying the document as what ought to be dealt with in the House. So, in the first instance, lip service was given all around, but when it comes to the serious business, they don't even watch the document And you could know if a man study a document based on his presentation. And it goes with everyone on the opposition side. They did not. Nobody have to question that. The document was not studied based on statement they were making. Now, where you have to sit and vote. And that is why he's right when he said no one is there that can lead. He was right when he said it in the campaign. He take out himself, make statement when he was living by saying, I'll be back maybe in the next 30 minutes as such. I'm running in a graduation and I'm coming back. But definitely, he know he would not be back. He leave the rest remaining now. So that when time to vote, and the Prime Minister is very not smart, he's very wise. Now, if you took the vote at a whole block, you may not know who say yes or who say no. But what the Prime Minister use as the leader of business. Let's take the vote one by one of every parliamentarian represented. So you must know a man's position. So you put the vote, they take it one by one. The rest that remain, who abstain, who say no, but in short, all of them are saying we're not in favor of the bill. Now, today or tomorrow, if something were to turn out, the opposition leader can safely say, I was not part of it because I was not present. You see who end up in the fire now? All those that remain. So he ensure his hand was clean out of it. Remember the scenario with Pilate when they were crucifying Christ? He washed his hand and he said,
I did that. That's what the abstention was about.
You wash his hand clean. So you in a way by saying, well, you can't hold me responsible because I was absent, I'm not there. Those who remain now, if they were to come forward and talk anything about gun violence, the populace will say, well, you had an opportunity to support the bill and you reject. So you know what happened now? They show up in the bad light. And it tells you that whenever you're in an organization and your head is not carried on top of your shoulder, other people thinking for you, you could face your death without knowing that a gallows exists. And the rest of the members on the opposition side, yes, I know when you come in parliament, you come as a cohesive team, irrespective to which side. But we're not dealing with something that it just involves some other bill. We're dealing with something where people's lives are involved. It doesn't matter which party you support. Lives. When you shoot somebody, they go to the grave, as the Prime Minister rightly say, they can't do anything. Bullets have no color of party. Someone gets injured, they maim for life, they cannot do anything. This is people's lives. That has nothing to do with who brought the bill and who the bill favored as such. That has to do with the safety. You could just walk in the street and some stray bullet with some illegal firearms could hit your child, your son, your daughter. These are the things you have to think about. This is not a matter of who trying to gain political mileage. So I think, especially the member from the tongue of St. George's, as a defense lawyer, as a safer criminal, and all what he have said, at the end of the day, based on all what you have said, it demonstrates to John Public and the listeners that he was just giving lip service. And people are to take politicians serious. You know what I really would have liked to see? And I know it's impossible to happen in the Constitution. But if I vote you and you're representing a constituency and you win the seat to go and represent me, and most of the people in your constituency saying they want to see something come to an end that stop, and you go and do contrary, I think the people in the constituency should vote you out. Because when you go in parliament, and a lot of people don't understand that, you're not just going to represent a party, you are going to represent a constituency. And it means that whether green, yellow, white, blue, everybody in that constituency, you are representing them. And if people are saying, my life is in danger, you have to put your political party aside and look at the lives now of the people. So I think the opposition leader outsmart every one of them there. So when something happened, as I said earlier on, he could safely say, I was not there. I will show in the record he never voted because he was absent when that issue come to an end. All the West that remain, it will reflect terrible on them. History will show what will reflect on them. So I think they should come to grips and think for themselves, put their head on top of their shoulder. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so much, Jay. Okay, thank you for your contribution. Again, 443-0101-439-0101. And the WhatsApp numbers are 473, of course, that's the area code, 534-3097 and 403-0101. Let me take another call there, Vibes FM. Landline caller, you are on. Caller, come in. Yes, caller. Hello. Yes, yeah, you're on.
All right, good.
Yes, turn your radio down, please. Turn your radio down. Turn your radio down. Thank you.
Yes,
Yes, go ahead.
I wanted to come in a long time, but you know, the discussion was so interesting, so I'd rather listen.
Okay.
But let me say this. Gentlemen, listening to Keith Mitchell, you know, to me, there is no... Well, listening to Keith Mitchell and Donald Trump, to me, there's no difference between the two.
6.5 dozen.
They're both, to me, very backward. But when I listen to both Keith Mitchell and I should say the rest of his team throwing more or less cold water on this gun violence situation, it tells me that Grenadians have to look very carefully that none of them should ever come back in government to rule this country because they are completely useless, especially this Emmeline Pay. When she could be criticizing this gun amnesty thing. Because as the gentleman said earlier on, people having an illegal weapon, an illegal gun, you could be going on your own merry way and somebody, excuse me, fire this gun. You don't have to be for the person they fire it at, but it could be you. You're quite innocent. And this thing could be very, very, very dangerous. And to me, the Prime Minister put it so succinctly this morning, right? And we had to listen to what he was saying. Because this thing is very, very dangerous. And we don't want Grenada to be a little New York or Texas or whatever. So people have to seriously think that the NNP not interested in anything what is decent, what is meaningful, what is relevant. That's how they have to look at Keith Mitchell and the rest of them. You know, these people are displaying nothing but hate. Hate for everything that is good in this country. It's like they're telling us we mustn't have it. But let me say this, the same thing that happened to
Sheldon Scott, right? And I must congratulate Miss Claudette Joseph for her brilliant work. And she has to have, to me, more press conferences because we have to deal with things like the call center, the shrimp farm, the chicken farm, and all of our money, taxpayers' money that's wasted. I would like to see the government putting forward a small committee to look at this kind of wastage, these things that went, money that went to bogus investors, and we cannot see any return for it. Like, gravel and concrete, and all these sort of things. So the government has to, as a result of the Sheldon Scott situation, the government must now seriously think of what we are going to do to recoup all the money that is wasted by this reckless, this irresponsible, this very corrupt NNP government that was in power. We have to seriously look at that because they're not interested in Grenada. They want to see Grenada fall. They want to see the transformation agenda derailed. And we're dealing with some very nasty people. Don't forget that. They are downright nasty. And we should have seen it by now after 2 years. Right? So, gentlemen, that's my contribution.
Okay.
Thank you.
Have a good afternoon.
Okay, thank you so much.
I might have to come back again because a lot of things I want to talk about.
Okay, all right. Okay, thank you so much. Next landline caller, come in. Thank you for waiting. Come in.
Hello.
Yes, sir, you're on now.
Good morning, sir. Good morning to the panel.
Good morning.
Okay.
Good morning.
Afternoon, no.
Mr. Mills, in the legal arena, Kit Mitchell's behavior would be classified as a habitual offender. And in so doing that, the speaker should have the authority to duck his pay.
Okay, go ahead. I'm hearing you.
And secondarily, I think the Prime Minister did the right thing by asking for a voice vote so that the people could hear who vote yes and who vote no. Put them on the record. That was perfect.
Yes.
That's all I got.
Yeah?
No, thank you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, sir.
Enjoy the day, guys.
Okay, you too as well. Take care. Okay. But this thing made a lot of talk of what transpired in Parliament there. And you guys realize that, and it shows definitely that the opposition has no interest in coming forward to the noise they were making before about gun violence and crime and everything like that. There was just noise. They were not serious. They were just that's all.
The distraction.
That's all. Now the time come for you to deal with it. Now for you to voice your opinion. Now for you to do something about it. On record, one run away. Diablo run away.
Well, here what, the thing to prove to us, all of us, that these people have no good intentions for Grenada. If, for example, my guy a few months ago talking about ISIS being in Grenada, well, that is not true, and that will put a stain on the little economy. And what are you doing? What are you telling the world about your country? That here there is ISIS. If there's something, if here there is ISIS, call somebody responsible and tell him that.
Call the security.
Yeah.
And find out something. I'm sure he has some.
Like to the Prime Minister that he should be.
Yeah.
Yes. Boy, our country is in peril. That's something we should join together to defend it. Yeah.
If that is
the case, we have to join together to defend that. But
so people must understand that the words that you use,
He knows.
But he knows better what he's doing.
The words that he used.
No, he's aware of what he's doing. But he doesn't realize that he has an educated audience listening to him. And who would just, take what he's
all of them have
saying.
their own agenda. And again, that's why I don't want to swing away too much, but that was why I was so pissed off at somebody trying to defend Sheldon Scott's behavior. Because he's not a thought. The guys know what's happening. He's been a senator. He's got some measure of education. And you know what you're doing is wrong. I don't know who else is guilty with you, but you're guilty too, so you must go down. If you're the fall guy, take it.
Speaking about Sheldon Scott, there was an update that was given on Sheldon Scott.
Oh, yeah?
Yes.
Hit me with music.
Yesterday at 4, a lady came up to me and said, "Thanks for the tomcat." Now, I don't own no cat, so that dropped. So I don't know what the lady means when she said thanks for the tomcat. But just by way of update, our duty, and in particular my role as Attorney General, is to give sound advice to the government of Grenada, sound legal advice, and to protect and uphold the institutions of our country and the constitution of our country, and to ensure that when people misbehave in public office, they are brought back into line. So, brothers and sisters, there is a matter which is in fact of public importance, because when it happened, everyone had something publicly to say, including the then Prime Minister, now opposition leader, and the gentleman in question. And that is Mr. Sheldon Scott. So, just by way of update, I gave a press briefing recently indicating that we had issued a pre-action protocol requiring Mr. Scott to pay up the over $156,000 of taxpayers' money that he used via a cell phone that was issued to him by the government, which he dishonestly, I might say, did not return when he demitted office as a senator. Well, Mr. Scott, by way of update, has responded asking for details, a detailed breakdown of all the monies that we claimed. Hold on. I don't have a problem with that. He will get the detailed breakdown bright and early tomorrow morning. But whatever happens, however there are attempts to delay the process, he has to pay back the people's money with interest. And as my sister Tessa would say, and is that. So this is just an update. I am sure ultimately good sense will prevail, and our request to work out a payment plan, which is what he said since 2019 he was willing to do. Now we are on the same page. I am sure ultimately that will be what happens, and that a repayment plan will be worked out, and all the posturing and all the attempt at politicizing my doing the people's work will come to an end. Because I'm just doing
the people's work.
Amen.
Okay.
People's attorney.
Before you make any comments there, I have some callers I'm waiting. So let me, WhatsApp caller? Yes, go ahead, yeah. Yes, go ahead, you're on now. WhatsApp caller? Hello? Yes, go ahead, caller.
Good morning, lady.
Yes, go ahead.
Tim?
Yes, hello.
Last week, yeah?
Yes, go ahead.
What happened last week?
Last week, they gave that guy so much time on the program.
Oh, yeah. Mr. Bass.
You with me?
Yes, go ahead, yeah.
The other thing as well, there's a lady in Parliament this week. When the opposition leader was leaving the building in Parliament, did you see she put her on her head?
No.
Even yes, the MP for St. Mark's. St. Mark's, yes.
What she did?
You know?
Look at that. I show the audience.
Okay.
When the man was leaving, W was leaving,
yeah.
he put the hand on his head.
You should look at that.
Okay. I didn't notice that. Yeah, okay.
Me too.
Yeah.
Look at that.
But that
And one more thing. There's a song in the campaign. Wasn't your song? A guy named Joseph in that song, The Doctor Sick.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You should play it for a couple of minutes. Okay?
the doctor's sick. I remember that. The dollar crazy.
Play that song, man. Please.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah.
All right?
Uh-huh.
Okay, fine. So call back.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
Okay.
Kim, in regards to that there, it was observed, and I've heard people made comment about that again. It's like saying in disgust. But where you going again? You living again? The kind of expression.
Right.
Frustration. It was a frustrative kind of expression. I mean,
Listen, what I observed is that after he was finished, within about 15 to 20 seconds, he walked down the aisle there and out that door. I noticed that, in other words, he didn't even wait like say a minute inside of there for a response or for the speaker or anybody to say anything. He just finished. Apparently, he was packing up his stuff before, and everything like that. And as he finished, take off the light, and he was up the chair and walking out with the tight pants.
And it seems as though also, apart from the fact that he said he had to go to graduation, it seems as though he was looking for some kind of confusion. Want to create thing for him to say, you see, all like me are going.
Well, that is his way of operating. He really can't have a civil discussion. As we say in Carriacou, he like to beat course.
Yeah, TB.
Yes, if he ain't beating course, he outside his league.
Honorable Ron Redhead should ask him. Should make a point of order. He said, "Well, you even know what is a point of order." I mean, come on. You want to do things for people to react and respond, and for him to say, "You see this? I will come inside here. I go in."
But hold on, is that his grandfather? Is that not his house?
Huh?
He's the grandfather in the house. He said, right?
Grandfather?
Whoever.
Well,
Godfather or whatever.
Grandfather say.
Grandpa, whatever. He's in the house.
Yeah, but
so you're running away from your house?
No. Well, he's the patron at the graduation that he's going to. So
the graduation was more important than the people's business. This is the question I was asking. The graduation more important than the people's business?
Yeah.
Diablo finished, Diablo done. He can't think again.
I mean, it's sad.
Very sad. But anyway, as one caller mentioned earlier, on which I read a comment there on the WhatsApp, they said, since the last election, that was it. He gone through because he put everything into it. He never took it serious, and then when he realized it was getting serious, he put everything. He cried, said, "Give me one for the road."
Yeah.
He said all kind of thing. Please, do it for the duck. But all I forget, do it for the duck.
Something that came up and then just disappeared. Is there any truth to fact that he might? Peter and so taking
legal action
as
I don't
with the convention.
I don't think so. I'll tell you why, because I don't have the response here. But I remember, Peter making a statement saying that that is not the case. He's not involved. He's not involved. He didn't say it was
right. He said he's not involved. He's not denying or doubting whether constituents, because they are constituents.
Right.
I mean, you represented them.
Yeah, but
and they're part of the party.
Not even so much, but the executive of the party who's supposed to be called that this annual convention, and are they in total lockstep with the world?
No, but again, what I find funny about the statement is that the executive deciding, which Peter is part of the executive, right?
Yeah, he's the general.
General secretary, right?
General secretary.
Okay, assistant, right? Okay. So is the executive that is taking legal action to bring the matter to court when the executive is responsible for staging the convention?
No, I don't think it's the
It didn't make
executive.
sense.
I think it's the executive. I think it's Peter's constituency.
What?
That's taking the action.
That's taking the action.
Peter's constituency. It couldn't be the executive because the executive is the one.
Okay.
Yeah,
So he was, but that because it
So
didn't make sense to me.
that's why he's saying he's
not aware of it.
Yeah, but or he's not involved in that
anything like that.
Yeah, but the constituents, the people.
Yeah.
The people who we represent. they are taking some action and find that, listen, things ain't going right.
So but do they have the power to make such a?
Well, they are members, you know. They are members of the party. I mean, the members of the party is not only those who are elected. Their membership card bearing membership, and something is wrong, so they're seeking higher help.
Okay.
It's the membership.
Yeah.
The membership of the organization that has the most, or not most, but has a powerful voice, because they're the ones who want to go to the convention as delegates and elect and vote on the direction of the party. So they're concerned.
But things are unraveling and not so good for the. As a matter of fact, I understand that some potential candidates or stakeholders are
taking action.
Not already taking action, leaving ship.
Well, based on what I'm seeing and hearing, you know, quite a number of them, and I'm talking about, you know, staunch supporters have been dropping out of the the party, you know.
Because I must compliment them for that.
Because somebody mentioned to me this morning, and they said, you must go and listen to the interview on Ride Along with Bobby Steele, I think it was.
Yeah, Bobby.
Bobby.
Okay.
Yeah. And it says he used to be a strong supporter of the NNP.
A fierce defender, you know. I mean, I call him that because he used to be.
Right, yeah, but right now, based on what transpired yesterday and what they were telling me, is that he was supporting the NDC all the way in whatever was going on. He applauded them.
Yeah, because you know, he's seen the works and does not agree with what is happening inside his own party.
Right.
And
then the criticism that have been coming from some of the stalwarts like Dr. Bradford, Anthony Boswin, Kenny Lal Singh, and all these people. You realize now that the walls, the pillars are crumbling. You know, they shake in like the earthquake we had the other day, and they're vibrating.
They called to abandon ship a long time ago and get out.
And that's it.
What about our colleague? I say colleague. Up here in Carriacou, I wonder what is the position. Is he abandoning ship too? But he can't. I mean, he shouldn't be abandoning ship because you're abandoning the people. I mean,
well, not you're abandoning the people. The common sense is prevailing.
Well, let me tell you something. Sometimes you see a ship going down. You put on your life jacket, and you go right on the side. Because when you go down, you want to stay afloat. So you in preparation.
You realize the engine stopped. And when it blew. So it's time to go again. Abandon ship.
And it's not a case where you can hold yourself out.
I tell you. And it can go in a rock. Engine stopped when it blew.
And you're heading towards a rock.
So,
where are you going to do?
Come out on the boat.
Anyway, let me remind all listeners the lines are open again. 443-0101 and 439-0101. You want to call and make a contribution? The WhatsApp numbers are available to you as well. 534-3097 and 403-0101. Gentlemen, I played a clip a while ago on Claudette, the update on Sheldon. You realize the response while she was speaking that she got, you know, in making the giving the statements. People are anxiously awaiting for the monies that was paid on their behalf to the government to come back.
If Sheldon Scott wasn't, for once for better, or if he wasn't so bold and out of order, after you do you wrong, and you should go and pull yourself in a corner when nobody's seeing you, hearing from you. You're on radio every day, exalting and the right honorable so this and that, as though Kate Mitchell is Father Teresa, and I don't know who he think he is. These people, you have to punish them and for the behavior, consequence for your behavior, man. You can't just you do wrong already. You take the problem on you just use your telephone as they think is your own thing. And giving away credit and all this kind of foolishness. And then, instead of paying back the money, you're criticizing the people who
But part of why he's getting on like that is because he's getting the support from Diablo, not money-wise, but, maybe moral support. Listen to them laughing about it, eh?
Good evening, sir. The biggest man in Grenada now. You're the biggest man in Grenada, right? The most important man. But well, it seems so. I reckon a whole press conference, Doc. When the Attorney General first time coming to press conference, the Attorney General of the country.
What is it?
When a whole press conference and big news, breaking news. Very sad. Really, really sad. Very sad, Sheldon.
Yeah, it's a big joke.
I tell you, that address must be to the Northwest or people of that ilk. Because somebody will clap and say, yeah, right. And the man is
I mean, imagine that. I mean, he on a program, on the whatever program there, making fun of a serious.
That's talking point.
Yes, that's a talking point. Serious issue,
And you're talking the feline.
Yes.
Yeah. But
you're the biggest man in Grenada,
Yes.
Congratulations, man.
Yes, you might.
No respect.
It reminds me also of what's happening with Trump. I mean, the more thing happened to him is the more people.
I tell the same.
The more come out and in the street and.
Is that at Trump College? You have what you call non-entities. People who don't understand it. People who don't know sugar is sweet, and they think they have an agenda and they're backing somebody. So you could feed them with the foolishness, and the more lies you tell them, the more popular they think you are. Simple as that. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, we call that Trumpish behavior.
Yeah. Well, in time to come, we might call it. Why don't change the name to adopt us here in Grenada and say it is maybe Diablo.
No. Well,
but we're waiting to see what sort of agreement will be made with Sheldon and the government. As per the repayment of that $156,000. I'm waiting to see what agreement, because they like Claudette said, that they are, trying to create a delayed process, doing that.
And if Keith had any good intention or had, people who support him.
Write a check. Write a check. I ain't leaving you in the water like that. I write in a check. Yeah.
Take it and go and pay it, and
yes,
don't say who give you the check.
Especially when you have all these millions and millions and millions.
19.
But
maybe US.
We just talk about this 19.
It could be US.
We just talk on this 19.
No.
19 was a way back when.
But it wasn't 10, it wasn't 19, it was 90. You wanted to say?
19. Landline caller coming.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning, yes.
Good morning.
What I have to say is all the criminals and the rapists that come from MNP constituency, she knows that. That is the reason why she voted no. So that is the whole fact of the thing. As Tessa said, that is that.
All right.
But I don't think it's I know what the caller is referring to, but it's not from MNP's constituency, from Kate Lewis.
Kate Lewis.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So I know he's saying he hasn't spelled it out really, but what he's saying is about the incident that happened, and they came from, and they are residents of Kate Lewis's constituency. So
so that is that.
Yeah, that is that.
But Kate Lewis is an artist.
Huh?
What?
No, is that you?
No. Yeah, it must be.
Kate Lewis constituency is northeast, isn't it?
Not yet. I think it's northeast. North, yes. Let me.
Yeah, just double check that there. Because I'm not too sure. Sometimes I get a little mixed up with
I think it's northeast and southeast.
Yes, yeah, right.
Yeah, but I think St. Andrews northeast. I think she's
northeast. I think it is. But I'll confirm it now.
Because you have northeast in St. Andrews up there, and you have northeast in St. George and stuff like that. But we sometimes have to just make sure and verify which is it. So you're checking it out.
Yeah, checking it out.
Okay. I think she's St. Andrews northeast.
But again, some of the statements have been made, Yeah.
She's south something. So,
MNP south?
Let me get it straight.
Okay, go ahead.
I'll take it out.
Okay.
I'll give you the wrong information.
Okay.
We probably already did.
Okay. Well, let me remind our listeners again, in the meantime, 443-0101 and 439-0101. Those are the landlines you can call. And the WhatsApp numbers you can call direct on WhatsApp, or you could call, use the cell phone as well, too, if you feel like, and call any one of the lines, 403-0101. And you can also call 534-3097. 534-3097. Any one of the numbers is fine with us. Okay. You found
I
it?
get it.
All right. Okay.
But I'm getting it. But let me just go through here. Okay.
But some people are making a comment just a while, I just saw it there, that says, that when the interest for Sheldon Scott was calculated, it was calculated on the day that the letter was sent. So for every day it's adding, it's increasing. So the faster you settle, the better or less you'd have to pay, which making sense to me. So if you go on a delayed process, then you're not really doing justice to yourself.
I was trying to figure out why this cell phone bill is so high, because I couldn't understand it, but some good citizen told me that the practice was to send credit to all those supporters and all those callers to the program, so that they could call to the program and big up the government at no expense to them.
Okay.
So a lot of these things goes credit sent. I don't know how to do it, but those people so technically savvy.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so that was happening there.
And besides that, somebody else even informed me too that when they send this credit, give them so much credit that they could use credit for themselves as well too.
They have more
and
credit.
they have more credit than they really need.
Like big time
because they're wondering with on it.
500 is it?
Yeah, because with all this credit, this data, and that's what you use there, with all this data being used up, to me it was kind of impossible for anybody to be using that amount of that data in a month. To me, it didn't sound so right. Vibes FM, landline caller coming. I'm not landline caller, sir. WhatsApp caller. Yes, WhatsApp caller. Yes, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. It's good to hear you all again, man.
Afternoon, sir. How are you?
Okay.
Yeah, I want to touch on an issue here. And I want to, I think I better pose this question to Mr. Leo, or Sir Leo.
Yes, tell me, sir.
Do we have a second amendment in Grenada?
Not that I know of.
Well,
what are you going to talking about?
I myself don't know that either.
Yeah.
But listening to Emily Pierre the other day, I was talking about the rights, human rights. It's like she gave the criminals a right to own
guns,
an illegal gun.
Yes.
I mean, I don't understand how she could say this law is infringing on the rights of people, and because of that, she cannot support the bill. I mean, which I find which is really ridiculous. And as somebody who is claimed to be preaching, being on the pulpit, and she knows that according to the Bible says, obey the law of the land, obey the magistrates and judges. The Bible says that there is I mean, I cannot quote the scripture presently, but the Bible did say that. So I don't understand how somebody who believes in God and go up on the pulpit and preaching and say and where the law say, I mean, which is the Bible is the supreme law, in my opinion, that you're infringing on the the rights of the person. So I see that as a big failure on the part of MNP, and she shouldn't. I mean, people like that, they don't deserve to be in Parliament.
But
definitely they don't deserve.
That statement is irresponsible.
But
very irresponsible.
Somebody else, Emily, who was spouting that in other words, I'm spiritually qualified. And educational, she's also qualified. So what's your excuse?
Caller.
Yeah, I don't know.
Caller.
It's all as you rightly say. The NMP is taking a page of the Republican Party, and everything they do is in line with the Republican Party. And I've been saying this a long time. I've been saying that Keith himself is just like Donald Trump. He never apologized. He never take responsibility for wrongdoings, and he behaved just like Donald Trump. They're always right, and they say negative things. They say untruthful things, and they keep saying it over and over, thinking that when more you say it, it's more like it stay in people's mind.
Stick. Yeah.
And it's a sad story to know that where the NMP is taking Grenada, people, about half of the population down with them. I mean, this is a slippery slope that they are going down. And I mean, I don't know how we will get these people from that, because I mean, when you have people minds been manipulated like that, and they cannot see the truth, they cannot get out of it. I don't know. I mean, it will take a lot. And I mean, I really want to support the government in what they are doing. The government is taking the right approach. I mean, we can't afford to have Grenada come like places like when I remember when St. Kitts, they had to bring in a commissioner from the States, a retired, I think it was a military man from the States, to cover the situation, or the gun situation in St. Kitts. And it is still bad in St. Kitts, and we can't afford for Grenada to become like those places, like St. Thomas and Tortola. No, it is getting out of hand in Tortola. I mean, you can't afford for Grenada to get.
Well, Trinidad, our closest neighbor.
Yeah, Duke of Trinidad.
Yeah,
of course. Trinidad is right there.
Right there.
I mean, it was said that after the invasion, they thought Grenada would have a lot of guns on the street, and I mean, it was a glory to see that we didn't have this amount of guns on the street. That was a time when we should have a lot of guns on the street. And now Grenada is so peaceful, or our name being out there as one of the most peaceful countries in the world. And why today that we, our politicians, not just our politicians, our leaders, these was people who are leading us. I mean, and today they're against this. I mean, you could see the kind of people they have. They're not interested in anything good for Grenada. They're all bent on condemnation and it's just power. It's just that they want power, and they will do anything to gain power. So I mean, we have to continue with this struggle. We have to continue fighting and supporting the government. I mean, they are doing a pretty good job. I mean, I look at Kevin's presentation with the video, and I was very impressed. I mean, I out here, but I following up what's going on.
Okay,
but my intention is to come back home as soon as possible. As I heard Leo say something earlier on, and I believe it's true. Time going to come when we will have to run. When things going to be tough in America, and we will have to run, because it's looking like that based on the attitude of the Republican and the way they are doing things. Things will get dirty in America, and people will have to look for a place where they could get peace and security.
Yeah, alternative.
Yeah,
right here.
Yeah, so I will definitely again want to congratulate the government in what they are doing. And fellas, hey, Kim, without you, man, hey, without this program, man, I don't know what we'd have been like, but hey, that program had to continue, man.
Yeah, man.
That's anyway, brothers, have a good day.
Caller, just before you go, please, I was trying to get in to say something to you. You asked a question, and I'm wondering myself, when she says about people's human rights being violated. Now, my understanding is that the Constitution is the supreme law of the land. The Constitution.
Yes.
Right. Section 1995 or around there. And the Constitution says every man that is accused of a crime is innocent until proven guilty. Yeah, and you treat the guilty differently to how you treat the innocent. And so I'm saying my understanding of what she meant by using those words. It's not necessarily one's human rights directly, but your constitutional right. If we accept the fact that the Constitution says that, which is the supreme law, don't you think that we should not be treating people who are accused guilty? In fact, the Constitution warns against that. So I'm just saying, you asked the question, so I'm just saying my understanding is this. Tell me.
Yeah, well, I glad you come with that, because I would like to share a little light on that as well. I'm not a practicing or lawyer, but if you listen to Clouden the other night on Ride Along, he said, he make the comparison, like you being a driver, you're driving a vehicle and you don't have a valid driver's license, and the police found you on the highway driving the vehicle on the highway, and they catch you. You have no defense, because this is a charge, because you're supposed to have a driver's license to drive a motor vehicle on the road, right? So this is a charge. You have no defense. So now the law is passed. The law is stating that the Constitution does not give us the right to own an illegal weapon. The Constitution will never have. That is why I asked the question to Leo: do we have a Second Amendment?
Okay. Yeah,
That's
I
why
get
I
you.
asked the question.
Okay.
So we do not have that right to own that weapon. So the Constitution have nothing to do with that, because the law is passed. That's why I say that the Bible says, obey the law of the land. The law is passed. So the law stated that you shouldn't have it. So why you should have it? So we find you with it illegally. Then you have to pay the consequences, because the law has set down its rules. And that is what I'm going by. That's why I say that I don't understand how she could talk about human rights on that issue. Who gave you the right to own it? An illegal weapon, and we know what is the use of a firearm.
Are you saying?
We know what is it?
Yeah,
it's to kill.
Are you saying? Are you saying that the Constitution does not say that?
The Constitution does not say you have the right to
No.
own an illegal firearm.
I'm
the
asking.
Constitution didn't say that.
No.
I'm asking. The Constitution does not say that anyone who is charged for a crime should be
innocent. What?
Innocent until proven guilty. Innocent
No,
until proven guilty.
That is not what I'm saying. That is not what I'm saying. What I am saying is that the law stated that you shouldn't bear a firearm, an illegal firearm. The law clearly stated that, and we're supposed to go by the law.
Right.
And who created the law? Is the Parliament created the law for the magistrate. So not that the government is taking away your right to justice, but the government take it away from the lower court into the higher court. So you still have it, but you just have to now go to the higher court, because the Parliament who make the law, and the Parliament could take away the law from that lower court.
Yeah.
So the penalty now if you want to deal in illegal firearm, there is a cost to it. And the other thing, and I'm glad, Corey, that you asked the question. You know what I like about this program is that we've been able to debate. We've been able to question and come up with answers. She talked about people are hungry, they can put food on the table. You know the cost of a firearm, man? It's not cheap.
If you could afford to buy a firearm, what food is
you
small?
Put food on the table.
Yes.
So then pay the consequences. If it's going to cost you $3,000, $10,000 to pay an attorney to represent you in the High Court, for you could get bail or you could get justice, pay the money. And this is what. So the government haven't taken away your rights, basically, but we have to deal with the situation. Life have to be preserved.
Yes.
The most important thing is to preserving life.
Yeah.
I mean, we got to look at it in that context and not about your human rights. Your rights haven't been taken away. Actually, you give away your rights.
Yeah, exactly.
Because
So it's one of
the
the
law says so, not to have it. So
Right.
you give away your rights. So based on the law and based on the explanation that Claudine gave, and which I really received, that you don't have a defense because the law says so.
Right.
The law says you shouldn't have it. The law says so. What is your defense? We find you with it. Not that we accusing you of or hearsay or they say. We found you with it, and that is what is the matter here, called.
Okay.
So
I like it. I like.
We
Yeah.
Right?
I like the debate. I love the debate. Really.
Oh
It's nice.
yeah, definitely. I love it. I love it. All right, guys. So,
Take care.
Take care.
I will be listening.
Okay.
I have to work, but I listening.
Okay.
All right, good.
Okay. Thank you so much.
All right.
It's nice to get opinions, eh?
Well, I mean,
And it's so nice when you have those things.
So Leo and Kim, this is about engagement, I mean, and I think really would like us, and I've said it in the past, that we look at issues not just from one angle, not just from reacting, but there are some questions that we have to look at as well. I mean, nobody's saying that your idea is wrong and my idea is right, or my idea is right and yours is wrong. But you see, I'm trying to get to understand here that when you talk about your rights have been violated, indeed, the constitution is the highest law. No law passed.
But
no law passed can contravene, should contravene what the constitution says. And I'm saying that this is what the constitution says. Yes, if it is that you are making it difficult, and I won't say making it difficult, but if indeed that you're going contrary to what the constitution says by how you treat someone, it's a violation.
But look at my side, okay?
Yeah.
And you with an illegal gun, okay? Now my rights to exist by you having that gun is being violated.
Well, I'm not so much talking about holding the gun or having a gun. I'm talking here
in general.
Yeah, I'm talking here about not respecting the constitution. That's the point I'm making.
Okay.
And not so much a human rights issue, but the constitution says this, and no law that is passed can go above the constitution of this land.
Okay.
That's why it can be changed.
Okay, I get you.
Just so.
Okay.
I mean, could change the law tomorrow. You go back in Parliament and say, now, instead of $5,000, let's charge them $2,000. I'm saying, or 10. You could change a law, but the constitution has to go through a referendum to be changed, and that is the highest law in the land. What the point I'm making. So let's reason.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much.
Right.
You mentioned Clouden.
Mm-hmm.
And Clouden has made some comments about Peter. And everybody knows who Anselm Clouden is. One of those lawyers there has been recognized as one of our own too. He's from Carriacou,
right?
But because he's been getting, a lot of recognition for the work he has been doing.
Mm-hmm.
And he made some comments about Peter as compared to what transpired in Parliament. And listen to what he had to say.
I'm so reluctant to say what I have to say because Peter and myself were in Ottawa together. He spent some time at Carleton when I was at the University of Ottawa. As Grenadians, we were together, and I admired him when he was with NDC until he abruptly left us to embrace Keith Mitchell. Remember, he delivered a speech at the church where Wangi's body was being interred and the funeral service was held. He insinuated some time ago that he had the ability to bring the warring factions together. And he would have spoken to Four Roads people and the Carriacou, and I think he made mention that he wanted to have some committee and speak to the groups. Certain members of the bar called for a ceasefire. And they wanted Emlyn Pierre. Is it Emlyn Pierre?
Yeah,
yes. I'm equally disappointed in her because she has expectations, so it seems, to be Prime Minister of Grenada in futuro, some future expectation. So it is really disappointing to see yourself and Peter abstain. They didn't have the guts, the intestinal fortitude.
She voted no. It was Cohen and Peter.
Cohen and Peter, abstained, and she voted no. Well, that tells you the insensitivity and the loyalty she has for the man who literally sold off all Grenada's assets. It's so pathetic that in a time of national crisis, because this thing would affect our tourist trade, it would affect our congregation and festivals, this thing could be quite rampant if not controlled. And all hands should be on deck to support our Prime Minister to get this climate of crime, or else we would fall in the same category as Trinidad and Tobago, St. Lucia, Jamaica. They had to have a gun court in Jamaica to try people instantly. Damn. Didn't have much time. Put them away because they are a menace to the society and it affects public security. This constitution guarantees the security of the person, you know. Apart from just the liberty of the subject and the security of the person, it is the obligation of a government to ensure that its citizens are secured.
Right.
So I support this government bill wholeheartedly. And what I said with respect to that is I would have hoped that they would introduce a speedy trial condition so that you hear this and the matter is at an end. So there is no need for bail because the law requires you could remand.
Right.
You first remand to 14 days to get lawyers and get things that one night, and the next remand is for trial within the next 14 days. The case at an end. No need for bail.
Are you surprised, Peter, being an attorney?
Disappointed. Not surprised, man. Disappointed. And you know what, man? As we call him affectionately, Pedro. Pedro has gone too far now to even consider representing the tongue of St. George. He has lost all credibility. Because, you see, Mitchell has manipulated him, he and another one who was the president of the Senate, and he has them where he wants them. So, I'm sorry for Peter. I mean, you know, he has lost his political compass. To abstain on a vote like this after you have delivered almost a eulogy in the church, claim that you are going to talk to Four Roads and the Carriacou. Oh, that's the impression I got, at least, from his mannerisms and discussion. And you come and abstain on a bill of paramount importance to the nation? And this nation, you have legitimate expectation of ruling? Come on, man.
Yeah, we get you.
Wake up. You know, Vibes, hold on. Landline caller, thank you for waiting. Caller, come in.
Well, good afternoon, my brother and
500.
brother cousin Leo and brother Coy and so forth. This is Comsy Boy here.
Yes, go ahead.
We know that.
And good afternoon again. And I've been listening to your. Well, I didn't start too long. So first of all, I don't know if you all had mentioned about these guns they got in the barrel yesterday before in Carriacou.
Yeah, we didn't talk much about that because we're still waiting on information, you know, from the police to the authorities before we could really get our opinions of this. So, you know, not much we know right at this time, but we understand that there were guns that was pulled in by the police. You know, so and
4 people were arrested. I understand.
I'm not sure on that one either. I'm not
three men and 1 woman.
We hear all of us hearing the same thing.
According to the media.
Well, that's what they're saying, but yeah, those reports are not confirmed. You know, so it's just like you're saying hearsay.
But Brother Kim, why is it that information is so hard to get where the law is concerned in Grenada? Even in the Bahamas, you see, you get direct thing, live and direct in Grenada. Listen, they must have had, 2,000 investigation going on since in the time when they killed some guy in Pursuance on a motorbike and what a matter of fact, since in Bishop Father time. I think there's still an investigation going on when they killed Bishop Father. And we never hear nothing. Then they come out and say the police is asking for the help by the public because some little girl missing. And when she come back or when they find her, they have nothing to say. For instance, if I'm in Grenada, well, I told some people that in the time of the revolution, anything I see or hear, I have nothing to tell nobody. That's since the time of the revolution.
Well, and that's a problem, you know. Hold on,
Yes,
hold a second. And that is one of the problems we have here, because in most instances, the police needs information from the public in order for them to file a report, you know. And if you saying you're not going to say, you see it and you ain't going to say nothing, how you expect them to come forward and say something?
But what has happened is they themselves going back and tell the people, sir, that happened to me right in Grand Roy, sir. And my name is Arthur Pope in Grenada. That happened to me right in Grand Roy. The PRA went and tell the people in the river, Arthur Pope come and mention about the gun you all had in the street.
Okay.
You understand me?
So because of that.
So I would not tell the police nothing. I might tell you maybe, but not the police. So that's the problem. well, not in Grenada alone, in many countries that happen. It's like a direct line. You talk to the police, and it's like a direct line to the culprits.
Okay.
But anyway, I was listening to Mr. Clouden there, and well, he said quite a few little things there. But again, also Mr. Clouden is involved in that. They make money from crime because they know the person is guilty, but they would not say that because they need the work. So they go and defend and they ask for bail. As a matter of fact, in the Bahamas, a lot of people who been killed in the Bahamas was on bail. And because they're on bail, the enemy get them. You see? So this bail thing, I don't know what is big about it. And but anyway, what the government is doing right now, it is very, very important. I mean, that would not stop the gun business completely, because if big, mighty America cannot or would not, because of the NRA, or how they call them, and so forth and so on. But listen, man, for the sake of money, all wrong things happening. And another thing is, I hear a guy talking about the Bible say, sir, I think you on the wrong program. You got to go on Pastor Sanford Simon thing on the morning in his Bible thing. Because a lot of things the Bible says should not happen. For instance, killing. The Bible says killing is wrong. And look how much thousands of people that has been killed in Gaza. So what are you talking about? Why didn't he say that about all the things that are going on in Gaza and many other places? You understand?
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm going to go back and listen to you all guys, unless you all have a question for me also.
Yes, I have one. How many credits you have left? I want to apply for some.
Listen, I really believe you want to come see his cousin, boy. But I like you though. I like you. But well, it might be about 4:50 now, because I used last week. I forgot last week was Thursday, to be honest. I completely forgot. So I didn't even listen, and it's still Friday. I was saying, damn, you know.
Yeah.
So it's about 4:50, Brother Quite. But very interesting question, because I'm sure if I run out of minutes, you might put up $5 for me, right?
Yeah. I'm one with Comsina. I'm connected. Don't worry. I'll put it for you.
Okay.
Right. Thank you, my brother.
Okay, Colin.
Cousin Leo, what's up with you, man? How you
I'm
doing?
good. I'm listening. I'm taking you in. I'm here.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Okay. And Brother Kim, is nice hearing you. And as always, your program is always of vital importance. So I'm going to go back and listen and Qatar here myself.
Okay.
But before I leave, I didn't know Towas Clement could have talked at all. I never knew that. He should. Because first of all, if they're asking Sheldon Scott to pay back the money for the cell phone, Tobias Clement should pay back all the money he was getting when he didn't have no portfolio. And he had another job in the medical school, as far as I understand. So he should be paying back that too. So he should be ashamed of himself to come and know. I never knew, Mr. Clement, I never knew you could have talked. I really thought you were dummy, sir. But praise God, the NDC put some vocal in your voice or some kind of thing, so you could talk now, sir. Thank God to the NDC. They had given sight, and even so much. There are so many people who come out as advisors now. Everybody's advisor to the government now. And before they couldn't even call kid name for afraid because they get a little how much it was, $150. Nobody getting how much, I don't know, and things like that. But anyway, this is enough of it.
Okay.
So I'm gone. Thank you, gentlemen.
Okay.
Okay,
bye-bye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next, landline caller, come in.
Hey, good evening.
Hello, yes.
Yeah, how are you, Brother Kim?
Okay.
That's good, man. Nice program today.
Thank you.
You know, I'm listening to the comments also making again there about Peter. But do you recall that the ex-prime minister is calling him the man with a twisted mind? And I now recognize that he really has a twisted mind, you know. So apparently Kid didn't lie when he was saying that, because hearing Peter talking and looking at him abstaining from that bailing truth. I mean, it makes me wonder if he's thinking correctly.
Yeah.
So it's just that I just want to call and to remind you about, because I will say that, and we don't want a man with a twisted mind.
No.
To come and rule that country. That will never happen.
Okay. All right.
So, I listen. Nice program as usual.
Okay,
Have a good day.
Okay, bye-bye. Thank you so much, yeah.
You know,
yes, go ahead.
I
Sorry.
believe a word that is used out of its value and meaning is democracy. You know? This democracy, using democracy. Democracy is only for people with money, you know. You realize that? And Johnny Cochran said it a long time ago and he said it best.
Yeah, I remember that was said.
That you're innocent until proven guilty. But in the case of poor people, it's innocent until you broke. They prove you broke. Yeah. And you can't pay, you're going in jail. Now you could explain to me why Donald Trump is still able to do what he do and flaunt the whole system, and you convicted 34 times what you went for president. The first time he should be out.
I mean, not just
a poor person got
not just the first time. Just an allegation, a suspicion that something is not all right. You ought not to be there.
The man convicted criminal 34 counts by a jury of your peers. What you doing running for president? And then still threatening people where you're going to be a dictator for. And who you going to get rid of and what you going to do.
Only the first day.
Who is getting that privilege? You think if... My God, this democracy, getting tired of it, you know.
Well, that's what we have to live with.
And Biden himself, I was just listening to Hartman this weekend. And when you hear the amount of ammunition this man said to Netanyahu, you wonder what's happening? Much of fighter jets, so much of... I think Israel used one thing from the arsenal in this Gaza situation, you know.
Well, yeah.
So what kind of democracy is that? You just... Wow. Netanyahu, and he still have the nerve to go and literally insulting Biden.
Yeah.
So that democracy,
man, that democracy.
What kind of democracy? You know, this word he loses a lot of value.
It's just amazing, eh?
Boy, no, I don't understand.
Okay. The lines are open 443-0101, 439-0101, and the WhatsApp numbers again is 1473-534-3097 and 403-0101. Our next topic up. We were talking and wondering what's happening with Mount Hartman, the deal that went down.
It was sold.
Yeah. But we weren't sure about that.
Yeah, no, well, you wouldn't be sure because that information would people who sell it wouldn't give you that information.
Well, our Prime Minister gave us an invitation. I mean,
a declaration. He spilled beans.
And listen what he had to say.
I will answer the question on Mount Hartman, but I think it's important for us to be careful with our language because we can't engage in xenophobia.
Right, no, we can't do that.
The Chinese is a general term referred to from anyone who comes from China.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a Chinese government and there are private citizens of China as well. And then two, I will also make the point that our foreparents came here from the African coast in chains and bonded in the slave ships and were treated as chattel. That's completely different from an independent state of Grenada deciding to engage in diplomatic, political, or economic relations with the state of China. For one, or private Chinese individuals seeking to do business in Grenada. For two. And so we have to appreciate that we can't encourage xenophobia of a particular type. Because if it was a white man who was building Mount Hartman, I don't know if we will make similar comments about us seeking to, quote unquote, having our great-great-grandchildren have to ask for reparations again. So I think it's important for us to keep our language disciplined and not inflammatory, and to bear in mind that we have excellent diplomatic relations with the government and people of China. You don't need a visa to go to China if you're a Grenadian, 30 days. Several tens, if not hundreds of Grenadians have had the opportunity to be educated, to be trained in China. Just Friday gone, the Chinese government donated several tons of agriculture, farming equipment to the government and people of Grenada. So it's important that we be careful with what we say. Having said that, upon assuming office, we discovered that a private Chinese firm purchased 2 out of the 3 lots at Mount Hartman. Those lots were sold to them by the former administration at a price of $40 million US dollars. The agreement that the government had with the private firm was, in fact, it gave them the opportunity to buy all 3 lots. Those 3 lots included the famous or infamous Dove Sanctuary site. Let me repeat that. The contract entered into between the Chinese firm, which is a private firm, and the government of Grenada was to sell the entire Mount Hartman area to them, including the site that is the Dove Sanctuary. Maybe credit to the Chinese firm, they opted not to exercise the option and they did not purchase the site that includes the Dove Sanctuary. However, they purchased the other 2 lots and they paid $40 million US to the government. The monies, in fact, the last payment of 20 million, 20 million tranches were paid, and the last payment was made, if my memory serves me well, either in December of 2021 or sometime early in 2022. The Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Finance confirmed that the funds were received into consolidated fund. So the money was in fact paid. So that's the current ownership status of Mount Hartman. The site is a site that has been approved for a CBI or Citizenship by Investment project. The project is ongoing. I will reserve my comments as to whether or not it is going in a state that is satisfactory to the government. But when you find contractual arrangements, you sometimes have to give everyone a fair opportunity to prove themselves. And so we are committed to giving the firm that opportunity to do so. And that is what I will say in response to that question.
So we were wondering all the time what was happening. There we had his host.
So you see, the transparency. I mean, you elect people and you put them to represent you in our business, not your business alone, but they think that you don't have a right to know what they're doing. And you just do all these secret deals and all these bush deals and so on. That's why you see we suffered so much in Grenada and we lost so much of valuable properties. Well, in the case of Mount Hartman, it was actually it was transacted and the monies went in the consolidated fund.
Mm-hmm.
But let's say it now. If that's what they say, nothing should be hidden from that. But they still want you to remain dumb down.
Well, the thing about it is that they didn't want the public to know what was going on. That's the bottom line.
Why?
Well,
or if you think that the public is agreeing with what you do and you're representing their interest and what they want you to do.
Well, you see, the possibility on what it was suggested that what the money was needed for, right, was questionable.
I wonder if it was for running the additional runway or the taxiway in Point Celine.
Well, now I understand that it was maybe money they needed for the election that was coming up because the timing, the timing was important. But there was one time, I don't know if you remember, Solio, when there was a rumor out there, or not so really a rumor because it was confirmed anyway, that the Chinese, during the COVID period, around 3 o'clock one morning, MBIA was opened up for this
people to come in. Remember vividly.
Right.
So that could have possibly been a transaction.
That's it.
But you see when he come in, what time?
With all the restriction, bubble.
Long story short, bubble. And you see, the other thing about my guy is that he likes to carry a fat wallet. And that's why you see he was caught with the fat wallet last election. Because the money he have, they want to pay the pension. He just want to see the money there. He just, as though he's his own, and if he got anyone, any point in time, he could dip your hand in it. That's the whole thing, He like to see money. He likes to see the money there.
Yeah. And that was it.
But he must have reserve, man.
No, definitely. But you see, like we always say, what's in darkness will come to light. It's just a matter of time. You hold the cock down in the water, and you just release for a little while. You go float.
No, that's not applicable to saying, man. More moon run.
Daylight will
catch up with it.
That's okay. Run, they will get you. So that's it.
So now, when people are speaking about Mount Hartman and want to know what's going on around there,
then now you know.
Now you know. Yeah? And as the Prime Minister says, well, he's not all in favor, or maybe he's been looking around and I say he's satisfied with the progress, but like anything else, you need to give them a little time to see where they're heading for, and then maybe the government could intervene. And
but I tell you, we deserve a lot more respect. But if we don't stand up for what is right and what is ours, you'll always be used. You'll always be treated as a duba, and it's so sad. We have to speak up and question our elected or selected officials as to what's happening in our business. The business, as a matter of fact, is ours, not yours. So if we don't want to speak up for ourselves, this is our business. And people telling you that you mustn't say anything because it's the minister or the minister. Oh, I don't understand.
It's just unbelievable. Eh? But it's what's going on. And again, like one of the callers mentioned earlier on, it seems as though some of the voices that were maybe hidden or maybe couldn't speak finally get toned out and privileged to express themselves. And I realize that is taking place on around, because more and more people are speaking as time goes on. And with what's taking place in the trial and state and the opinions, especially as pertains to what's taking place with the Diablo administration or his party, whatever, because he owns that anyway. So that's his.
You see, there are a few transactions that are not so savory, that are not so kosher, that took place in Carriacou. That I'm hoping that we don't leave things, we don't want to bury them with the wrongs that were done. We want to expose them so that people will be educated and to see that those certain things don't happen again. Because, oh boy, every time I talk about the Korean lands in particular, you just have some people 7.5 acres of land and you fight with them in court for it. What a gall. How you could do that? And somebody like that, you can get a fly from them. 7.5 acres of land, you fight them in court for it. Taking the people all through the mud and, to all this, somebody.
Yeah, but one of my concerns, as always I've been saying, is that what deal went down in those transactions? What deal? Because it's not been told to the public, and still a lot of hearsay out there, and we need to know.
Oh Lord, but you knew that's not your land. You know it's not public land. You know it's private land, and if they had the decency to say, well, we will compensate you or give you something. You don't want to do that, and fight the people because you see, my man, he's the executive, legislative, and the judiciary. All three arms of government in one. You always say when the court say pay, when that. Hey, come on. So he must have Bajan in the world. Bajan, yeah. So because you're making joke because we see.
They ain't taking it anymore.
No.
In many instances, the frustration builds up,
Oh, you mean?
And that's it, and sometimes people just decide, listen, I had enough. That's it, Let me remind our listeners, the lines are open again, okay? 443-0101, 439-0101, 443-0101, and 439-0101. And our WhatsApp number is 14734-534-3097, 534-3097, and 403-0101. Okay? Next, hold on. Before I go further, I realize all the lights just start blinking up again, because we had the lines close up for a little while. So let me try to go to another phone call and take this one right now. Vibes FM, landline caller, you can come in now. Caller, come in. Hello? Hello?
Simple connection.
Okay, seamless do. Yeah, we're going to try again. Vibes FM, you on? Caller, come in now. Okay, we're going to have to wait for that day. All right, similar to sometimes we get these bad connections, okay? Anyway, let's continue. I was about to mention the passport that was promised. Our passports for 10 years.
10 years.
Yeah. An announcement was made recently, by our Prime Minister. But let me take the calls first. Vibes FM, landline caller come in. Caller come in.
Yes, Kim.
Yes.
Sir Leo.
Yes, sir. Yes.
This is the man from Granby again. And there is something I would like to say. Before I had a split this of the work I have done for the previous government, which is my granduncle. I don't call him Dr. Kit. I call him Mitchell.
Okay.
I did Seaview diesel plant. I do PM diesel plant. I build the thing in 6 roads with the big tankies. Since I get a slip this, they had promised me that they was going to help me. They send Sugar Patch, Nelly, this is Limrod. They all give me a poppy show and stupidness. Now I'm done. I'm here now on my bed. I'm chasing cow. Fence is down. And these people lie. They have given me 2 wrong plans. The plan that I built in Seaview was the plan for Petty Martin. The one for Seaview, I built in PM. So they had to scrap the machine that pulls the water in Seaview to build it inside. Someone was either stealing or they was taking something. I started looking for little papers, so you take. So, uncle, my granduncle, Keith Mitchell. Yes, you my granduncle. All you have to stop lie and all you not coming back. Yes, me sleep this. I know where all the lack of info now in Carriacou. I will put them there.
Okay.
I know where all is. I sit down on my bottom in 6 roads to do the one in 6 roads.
Okay.
That's when they decide to what they say, put me on the side. And since then, they on the side.
Oh, yeah?
Since then, they on the side. I can't remember. The cow come, my little night bucket. I put it outside, cow mash it up. And I trying to phone him. He don't answer my phone call again, so I wish he listening. I don't want nothing from them. I tell them already. I ban yellow and I stay in yellow, so that's what they hate me for.
Oh boy, that's sad, very sad. I mean,
anyway, thanks to you and Sir Leo. And Sir Leo,
yes, sir.
The first time I met you, I was building that little house by Jeremy there.
Okay.
And he said he wasn't going to talk to me, but me and you had a very good conversation. Never beat your children.
Yes.
And I'll never forget that. So I appreciate that. But right now, I started this Thursday thinking easy. I can't even get myself to go outside.
Wow.
If my wife in there or my daughter in there, well, my grandchild is coming up on Tuesday. She's 19 to give little strength. The most I could do is either go fight my way to the toilet. And if I can't make it, I use the bucket. And that's right. But I want to say to the previous government for what they have done to me, they have left me in PM thanks to Emerald and his wife that used to give me a bit of food and a pasta on top. I think it's Jangle or Madame Pierre. Them used to cook little food and give me. I used to work from 6 until I can see.
Wow.
They only gave me 7 weeks to finish that building. And I did it.
Yeah.
And after that, only certain people name you here, Carl. And the one that do the work is done now. Nobody. Don't even pass in. They say, well, okay, that way Max living. I live in a shell. I don't have no partition in my house. Nothing. It's just a shell, a box in they give me. They give me a set of ply, look like damaged ply. Half of my flooring is done, half is not. But I prepare it still because I have a family to take care of. So I wanted just to send out that because I know you're listening somewhere along the line. So to my granduncle, if hell is a place, prepare yourself, you're heading there.
Oh, wow.
Thank you very much.
Sorry, yes.
Because they walk me until I can do it again, and they dump me.
Empathy. Oh, God.
Okay.
But that's the norm. For use Carriacou in particular uses disposables. When everybody use it until they need you no more.
Yeah. I remember when he came to Pretty Matnik with the big boys them. I doing the work, you know. They asked me if I could go sit down on the side by Emerald and them there by the supermarket. And they do all the big things. But then I missed it. I think it was from St. Lucia or somewhere. They are bringing 2 different people, which they was paying the big money to. So he come and he asked me to sign something. But when he realized I was looking at the figures of the thing I was signing, he told me, he said, no, just write your name. So he put his hand over the figures. So the figures they spend in PM is twice time more. So then, and they didn't spend that money over there because if I take 6 weeks to do a building, it can cost you this amount of money because I know I've seen you have about 9 numbers there. That's a lot of money. So somebody, when they was bringing in the machine, they used Paddy tractor and Packlift. They used Amelia to bring up the machine. They asked me to come. They said, just come in just to make sure everything, every bolt, everything was in place. They didn't have no problem. They give me a plan, everything was in place. When they put on the machine and they bolt it up, the one from, I think, is St. Lucia, somewhere around the island, he come in the corner and he squeezed $200 in me and he said, old man, you good. After that, I came down and I do the one in 6 roads. Every bolt to hold on this tank was directly in place. When the tractor lift that up and put it down, the Mr. and them said, they said, no, we're going out and have a little fun, man. He said, no, something wrong with you. I cut all the wood and them in tongue. I put it by Jigga there and go up and build that wrong circle, you see.
Okay.
And as soon as my back go out, they just dump me.
Oh, boy. So sad.
Anyway, Kim and Salio and
thank you, man.
The guy.
Yeah, okay.
I'm just crying on fire because I can't move as I want.
Okay. All right. We'll be in touch. Okay?
Thank you very much.
Okay, bye-bye. It's sad when you hear the stories, eh? I mean,
I tell you what, people who so unconscionable, you know, I seen it happen, boy. They use you as much as they.
And when they finish.
Yeah, man. Goodbye.
That's it. They'll just
dump
dump
you. Back up.
You're not good again.
No good. Water go in your way to get soft. Goodbye.
and as you mentioned too, they related. Again, so you know, sometimes again we look at those things, eh? I mentioned a while ago, you know, and somebody's just messaging me here that when they sold Mount Hartman, the money must have been for use in maybe election was coming or something of the nature. You know, you never know where the money was going. But somebody's saying to me that they believe that the money was being accumulated to purchase Grand Lake at the time. So, so there was a possibility again that could have been.
Oh, well, did we ever find out Where
the money come from?
Where to purchase
that idea you have, that commentary idea, I think that has been widely believed because they have not, in fact, they keep it as a secret, not to tell the people where it was.
I remember when comments were made and
Yeah.
they were saying it wasn't important.
Yes.
Wasn't important where the money come from.
And that I really do believe that based on all the information and the evidence available to me, that was part of the money. I mean, that was one that, you see, and I mean, a big thing is that you as a government getting into your coffers all this money. Why is it that you don't want to discuss that with
disclose it? No,
with the people?
Because you see, if you see things that you're supposed to do and is hesitant to do it, all things as paying pension and taking the money from them teachers and so on. So when you get, he sees money, so you can't afford to, he sees money, put it away. And then you chinks it out, you make it a law that people in the ministers must get pension after 2 terms and all this kind of foolishness. The fella have no conscience.
Yeah, but
you want.
Yeah, I mean that is highly suspected as to be the source for that. I mean, and even the Grenlet thing. I mean, there are so many unanswered questions, so many questionable things that has taken place. Things that have taken place. You know, I don't.
They like dumb constituents, so that you can question them because what they're the ministers and the prime ministers and this who is this, that, and that.
You know, something.
They're the dog and not the tail.
Yeah, you know, something that has been been on my mind in recent weeks. Really, you remember the issue with marketing board? Yeah, and there were some questionable activities with the manager at the time, the GM at the time. What has happened? I mean, they have promised to research, to investigate.
Let me tell you something. This administration has so much work to do. You have to give them time because they have a country to run as well. You know.
Yeah, I know that's why you know.
Yeah. So quite a number of the things are not being investigated yet and bringing forward because of the fact that they have work to do. You can spend too much time on some of those issues, but in time to come, we're gonna get them. Vibes FM, WhatsApp caller coming.
Yeah, Mr. King?
Yes, go ahead, yeah.
Yes, if you remember, just this election, when they asked the former minister from St. David, Oliver Joseph,
yeah,
where did the money come from to buy Grenlet? He said, you all should be lucky to buy back Grenlet. GBN, you was on GBN.
Yeah.
And he said that. And it's alleged that the money they get from Mount Hartman is the money they use to buy that Grenlet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's on the record.
Uh-huh.
Oliver Joseph did say to the people on GBN, you all should be lucky to buy back GBN. So it doesn't matter where the money come from.
Yeah.
It's there in the record, yeah.
Yeah, because a lot of questions were being asked here. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Uh-huh.
Since
okay. Okay, caller.
Whatever. Where was Oliver Joseph buried? Since he suffered the political death.
Oh. You're buried yet?
I don't hear from him at all.
No, he's actively involved in trying to get the convention going and things like that and so on. You know, I mean,
Go on.
yeah, I'm just saying.
Oliver Joseph can be a factor because Oliver Joseph has no chance of returning to points in this, and we go run again. So nobody will listen to Oliver Joseph. Is irrelevant.
He been
he come even more so now.
Because you remember when he went just before the election, he had a good excuse for losing, in my view. When he went to the US to get some operation done on his eye, I think it was something of the nature.
So he couldn't campaign?
And so he couldn't campaign. So he came back with a black patch over one of his eye, I think. And
Moshe Dayan. Well, I tell you something. If people, you see, like constituents like St. David's and the South, where my boy is, his name is Hot.
Yeah, Andy.
Sorry for those challengers down there, boy. I'm really sorry for them because they're dead before they start. For Oliver Joseph, I wouldn't like to be in Oliver Joseph's shoe. I'll just quit and go away in the sunset.
I don't think he's gonna
wash my mouth completely.
I don't think he's gonna.
Another one is the Sieg man. The Sieg man. What his name is? Bowen.
Yeah.
Sieg, you call him?
You know, see head.
Why just no?
Yes, no.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, it seems to me that they have to really do a lot of work there, because Philip Telesford is really trying to get into the whole place, and he's going through. He's going through, yes, and he's growing, maturing. So.
Well, but boy, go lose by association. When I see Pedro. Boy, no.
Okay, wait a second. I was talking about this just to listen to it.
1st July 2024, anyone 18 and over will be entitled to apply and receive a 10-year passport. Anyone under 18 will be entitled to, with the consent of their parent or guardian, to apply and receive a 5-year duration passport, on the basis that under 18 your physical features tend to change pretty dramatically. So we are going to Parliament tomorrow morning in the Lower House, the House of Representatives, and on Wednesday in the Senate to pass the Passport Amendment Bill number 2, and we hope it will also be passed and supported in the Senate, and thereafter the Governor General can give her assent to it, to ensure that effective the 1st of July, we go back to a passport that is 10 years. You haven't asked, but I will also say the current cost of a 5-year passport is $250. The cost of the 10-year passport will be $350. So we are extending it, but we are not by the same, by essentially 100%, but the price is not going up by that amount. So in effect, when you buy a 10-year, when you get a 10-year passport, you'll be getting essentially a cheaper passport, because you are paying less than for the. It's not been doubled. It's not going to $500. It's only going to $350. So once the bill is passed in Parliament, the new regulations, which also addresses the price, will also come into effect, and we can get this done. So as you can see, we are not like Barack Obama and Guantanamo Bay. So that's one. 2.
Okay, so gentlemen, there you had it.
Yeah, the 10-year passport is wholesale and the 5 years retail. It's just that.
Yeah, no, yeah, but it's a great move, eh?
Yeah, absolutely.
This 5-year thing there, because
and even in the US they realize that, because and quite rightly said, because when you're much younger, your features change and so on and so forth. So you need to change your passport, because you could look completely different.
Right, yeah. Yeah. So I guess it's a welcome news too, and not even that they didn't double the cost.
It's wholesale price, you get it at.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. So these are all things that people are applauding right now, especially as we're moving forward in this administration, and they are working for the people, as they very well know. It's been said over and over, this is a government of the people. All that is on the agenda and all that they're trying to do right now is in the pipeline. So it's just a matter of time before you start seeing everything happening all around you. But the mention was made, as they just concluded 2 years, that so much has taken place in these 2 years. What another 2 years would look like?
Well, did we imagine this last 2 years? Did we sat and say, "Boy, I wonder what it's going to be like"? Now that this is the administration in government, did we imagine that, or we just at the end of the 2 years can't believe our minds or eyes what we see, boy?
No, what I'd like to see this first term culminating in groundbreaking for the teaching hospital, and if that happens, then I'll be high like a kite, because I know once it gets started, and something that the PM mentioned too, he's looking for a partnership or some sort of affiliation with some credible establishment. Say, for example, in New York, probably what you call Mount Sinai, or
Mount Sinai,
one
yes.
is good,
Yeah,
good
one
thing
is,
there. But I wish Lutheran could have picked us up. That'd have been so good. So good for Grenada. And you would be surprised to know the amount of business that will be done from that thing. Those who thinking that it's going to be a white elephant, for this from the truth, will buy the region and extend it out in the diaspora too.
Well, I believe that that would be a great idea
Yes.
to get some partnership out there.
It is. And again, in conjunction with SGU, sky is the limit.
Yep.
So we're sitting in the right thing. Nobody tell us.
It's just a matter of time now.
Yeah.
Before we get, because the teaching hospital, has been in the making since back in the former NDC.
Yeah.
Since back in the 08, but they have just sidelined the idea.
The land purchase was in progress, but that's good for us. I am so very happy that this team that we have, especially the leader of this team, is what we have now. I'm very happy.
Okay. 443-0101-439-0101. Again, 443-0101-439-0101. And the WhatsApp numbers again is 534-3097 and 403-0101. Okay. Those are the numbers if you want to call and interact with us. Still have a little bit more time in the program.
Yes, and looking more one of the things that sometimes, just for curiosity's sake, for example, I meet somebody from Guav, or meet somebody from wherever the constituency may be. I want to find out what's trending there, what's the talk. Who you see as a formidable task, who you see somebody that is sort of assured a seat, and I will not be, as far as our government is concerned, I'm hoping that when the next election comes, that that will increase the 10-5 to probably at least I'm hoping for 14-1.
Well, you still give one.
Well, 14-1, man.
You still give. You still want to concede one. Who want to concede?
Northwest.
You conceding this? Well, he won't be there any longer. He's going in. Don't forget, he's going to have to lose another election. This time he ain't saying he's going in. Just as what he did in Parliament, pack it back and go. And you ask him, where's him? I don't think so. We cannot concede any. Laco is there,
Boy.
Laco is there, and Laco walking on his heels and mashing his toes,
the damage that I see that was done to the state of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique, and talk about the Northwest. Well, my man had direct access. He was punching to the nose every time he built about the Northwest, right to the nose, So this Northwest couldn't.
Yeah, because I couldn't survive.
No, you grow the amount for as long as what you call it. You the citizenry. That's why this popular kept them as dumb as they come. It was in his interest to Mamagai people. Every Thursday you go and give up on sugar or something so on, and then they will, boy, I love you as my grandmother cook food and just to keep you dumb and so he leave it himself. So the Northwest has a lot of problems.
But as I said, Laco is preparing the ground to rule that, not to rule, but to manage and govern that constituency for the next 25 years. He's young and he's prepared. The opposition leader was there for 40 years.
That's what I'm saying.
40.
And down there, man, he's in concrete there. He's in concrete. He's buried heavily there.
Uh-huh.
And he's going to take some doing based on the mentality of the people to get rid of this fellow. Because as far as they're concerned, whatever Diablo is telling them is gospel. And that's said. He's the savior, Even though, he in their case, Lucifer is Christ.
No, don't say that.
Oh, all right, okay.
No, but what you're saying, they're making sense.
I'm telling you.
No, it is, because you see, after being there for all this time, and you just mentioned 40 years, I mean, really, that's all they know.
That means people who's 50 years, they know nobody else.
They know nobody else. Think about that.
Yeah. Well.
It's like that's what you grew up with. That's what you know. The only person.
Yeah.
That was there for all this time. And that's it, So it takes a little while before you get into that base there, But
change is coming. Change is here, not coming. Change is here.
Well, what has happened recently, with Laco in particular, he has made a very strong impact in that constituency, and he has people with him now, and for some reason, the younger folks could relate to him much better than Grandpa, because Grandpa is really out of the league, to a certain extent now. So now they could relate to him a little bit better, and some of them has passed through his, what we call it in teaching, his hands under him.
Yeah, he was principal.
Because he was principal, for quite a number of years in teaching. So I believe there that a lot of students, they gravitate in. And when you have those masses around there coming to you.
Things changing, man. Things changing. You could just look and see the transition that's taking place. A lot of people are really and truly gravitating towards youth, one, and, Laco. Well, just, I don't mean to disrespect him, but yeah, Lacquet. But Lacquet. Guys, you all gave me a task a while ago. And
yes.
We're trying to find out the constituency as it relates to St. Andrews.
Northeast?
So Kate is in St. Andrews Northeast.
Yes, correct.
Yes, correct. Yes, I want to make sure. And probably as we on this, let me just refresh our memories. It's always good to remind yourself. We have 15 constituencies. We start with Carriacou, Tevin, Andrews. That's Carriacou and Petit Martinique. St. Andrews Southeast, we have Emmeline, Selena, Pierre. St. Andrews Southwest, we have Lennox, John, Andrews. St. Andrew Northeast, we have Kate, Lois, Peters. St. Andrews Northwest, we have Delma Thomas. St. David, we have Deacon Amis Thomas Mitchell. St. John, we have Charles Peter David. St. George Northeast, we have Ron Livingston Redhead. St. George Northwest, we have Keith Claudius Mitchell. St. George Southeast, we have Philip Alfred Telesford. St. George South, we have Andy Joseph Williams. St. John, Kevin James. St. Mark, Clarice Modest Cohen. St. Patrick's East, Dennis Sylvester Matthew Conwell. And St. John's and St. Patrick's West, Joseph Randall.
I think that the St. Mark's could be an acquisition for us.
Huh?
Oh yeah, definitely.
St. Mark?
Yeah.
Well, not, but it's because I think Cohen is not going to run again.
No,
and they'll be had pressed to get a replacement for that who's going to be jumped by with my guys and with them.
Britain.
Yeah.
Vibes FM, landline caller?
Yes.
Yes.
Mr. Kim, I just called back. I want to ask Mr. Kaya questions.
Yeah.
So around the parliamentary aspect of things. And then I have another comment. In reference to the Parliament House, Mr. Kaya, I want you to throw some light on that. If, like when the speaker move out from the chair and they say Mr. Deputy Speaker as such occupy the seat, and usually it does the one from the opposition side, whether in the Senate or the person in the lower house, where I come from. If a voting ought to take place, and let's say Mr. Deputy Speaker is in the chair, can he vote? He's not allowed to oversee that a vote is taking place. Because if he move out from his position and he is now sitting on the chair because the speaker is from the chair, and something have to put to the vote where he lies with his voting pattern. Is he obligated to vote still while on the chair? Are you not supposed to?
No, it's not supposed to. And even if vote is taking place, I mean, both houses, both sides will understand that they have to have the people there. So the chair is not, once you're functioning as the chair, will it be deputy chair or you're the presiding officer then? No, you not vote.
So the deputy chair is not entitled to cast his vote on whichever side that he might be sitting at that moment.
As the presiding officer overseeing this vote, you are the presiding officer. You have to be down on the side to vote one way or the other.
So are you saying then the deputy person that holds the chair, is he at a disadvantage whenever he's sitting on the chair and a voting might be taking place?
Well, yeah, but as I said, it wouldn't just happen so. I mean, people would know when a vote is coming up and your presence is needed or your presence is not appreciated. Yeah. As if you could recall some time ago, there was a vote taken and somebody had to go to the washroom.
That was Mr. Gawi and the gambling deal in the trade center when a voting was taking place. He was not
so I'm saying you could be present or absent.
Up from his seat in the Senate and he gone in the washroom.
Yes.
Because I guess as much his religious conviction, maybe he was feeling guilty. He can't vote on the gambling bill or something, so sleep and he rush in the washroom.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. So I'm saying, to vote, you have to be in there. As a presiding officer, well, no, you preside, and we understand what someone who is presiding. Of course, if you could vote while presiding, there's no fairness there. I mean, you have to be down on the voting side.
Yes, I agree that. So that's why I ask you, can it be seen as a disadvantage when the Mr. Deputy Chair sits up there and he's voting right, if you want to say it in that term?
Yeah, well, yes.
Has been taken away for a moment.
But as I said, this is our strategy. And if you see that a vote is coming up and you see that you need extra or whatever, you could, I don't want a John until everybody there.
Evacuate from the chair and come back on the side and
I mean, for whatever reason the chair, I mean the person who handles the chair at all times is not there, But yes, I think the question you're asking is that if he's at a disadvantage, certainly. I mean, if voting is what you want to do, you cannot do it from the chair in that manner.
Okay. The next question. I really thought when they had the town hall meeting in Carriacou, and it came up in question with the Ministry of Education and they highlight the refurbishment for the National College and said that more or less they will look out into including the marine aspect of the college. It's not just the college. So when they decide to renovate it and things of that sort, they will include marine education, which is very good. I really thought that someone, because I raised that question already, in regards to the school in Pitimatli, seeing that secondary education is now universal, you may say, for all children who do the CPEA, right, the CPEA, and have to move into secondary school. Those from the primary moving in the secondary school, in that no child is left behind a sort of a don't have the access now to secondary education because all have the privilege to enter secondary school. I really thought, I heard the Minister of Education said that they will do or they will look into the possibility with National College that you could stay in St. George's and conduct classes online for the college in Carriacou in many of the subject area. I really thought that maybe, and that should be given consideration, that the children in Petimatnik, the school should be computerized in such manner and tied into either one of or both of the secondary school in Carriacou, so that the children don't necessarily have to leave Petimatnik and come over to Carriacou for the secondary education. They can do it online because you're not talking about a large school. And at the same time, if it means upgrade, of which I know most primary school teachers now have the necessary qualification, that they can also teach in the, even though they're teaching in primary school, they can also teach in a secondary school because the Ministry of Education make it sort of a compulsory now that you must have maths and a science subject once you're teaching in a school, whether primary or secondary. So if it means, I don't know if you have to deal with an additional classroom, but the possibility should look at, is the children every day have to come down on a boat to go to a secondary school? We in the line of technology now. Let them remain in Petimatnik, get the teachers with the necessary qualification, equip the school so they can have good online learning tied to one of the secondary school in Carriacou. It may not happen for this September school term because that seems very close. But that is something I think that the people in Carriacou and Petimatnik should look at seriously, and maybe in the next budget cycle that should be included. Add in a classroom if you need space in Petimatnik, upgrade the school and allow the children to remain in Petimatnik and get also secondary education. If you're talking about labs, now children basically do lab work when they reach at least in Form 3. So it gives you ample time whereby you can now equip the school in Petimatnik with their science lab if they have to do things as chemistry and physics and things of that sort. It's giving you 3 years to equip the school with a science lab. By the time these children move from Form 1, reach up to Form 3, you also give the government ample time to put a lab in place. So I really thought in the town hall meeting, that is something that should have been looked at,
but
given consideration, and raise it with the Minister of Education while he
was
has
there.
been up in the town hall.
Well, what you're saying there makes a lot of sense, but I could tell you what I do know is that there is a pilot project that's took place, I think, last year and even this year with one of the schools, I think it is Mount Pleasant Government School anyway, with the CPEA doing it online. Because, it takes a while for the adjustments to be made.
Yes.
So I think there's a pilot project that went on with one of the schools, and I think it's Mount Pleasant anyway, Mount Pleasant Government School, the way they were doing it online. So you could see that something is in the making right now as it pertains to, moving to that level. And as you're suggesting too, that the idea of Petimatnik not having to come to Carriacou and staying in Petimatnik and be able to still be in touch. I mean, get to the education and everything like that. That would be a plus. That would be a plus.
It would be a plus because you see, you're solving a lot of issues.
Yeah.
Parents thinking of the safety of the children and see that you will sort of ease that burden in their heart as a parent thinking my child had to get up. I don't know what time there was this cinematic, whether 6 in the morning or 5.
Yeah, by 7 in the morning, usually
Right,
around
by
that time.
7, boat, get on the boat, whether rain, sunshine, over the seawater, school over in Hillsborough, Secondary, Bishop College. They have to either wait evening time or whenever the boat is going up, back up on the seawater. I think that that burden can be eased on the children.
Yeah.
We in the technical, computerized age, no children now is left behind. Every child can move into secondary school when they attain the age group and where with the CPA, move to the classroom.
Yeah.
They get the first 3 years in secondary school. You prepare the teachers, put in Carriacou and in Pitty. They have the necessary qualification and they can conduct teaching online where necessary.
Yep.
And as I said earlier on, 3 years can give you ample time
to put it
with this school in Pitty with a science lab, and if it means also an additional classroom. So that I think that you all should have raised that.
I quite agree with you, and as you're just speaking now too, I'm sort of like wondering why nobody came forward with that question. But listening to the program now, I could almost guarantee you in the next town hall, this might be one of those questions might be asked right up front. So because we're speaking about it now. So let's keep hope alive, okay? Okay. Thank you so much, caller.
Yeah.
Right. I like this kind of conversations.
Well, this, as the caller was speaking there, I'm just thinking in my mind that this is something that we have struggled with here. At one time, we used to leave Carriacou here and go down in Grenada to get to access education. Things have changed now. So I wanted to say to the tell the caller, things will change. Just as how you recommending that we stay one way. At the time we didn't have internet to say we'll study online. People like Sir Leo used to have to go down in Grenada
and stay in Grenada.
Yeah. So yes, it will change. It's changing. I mean, a lot of people who you see excel in different ways, and they're from Pitty Martinique per se. They too had to go through all those struggles, take boat here and there, and amidst all of that, those challenges, they were still able to excel.
Yeah.
So it's changing. I mean, I never had the opportunity to say go down in Grenada and study, because by that time, I mean,
the
college
take place already.
Yeah,
change took place.
So things are going to happen.
And as you're speaking to, one thing that just came to my mind, in that you would have noticed now for the past couple of years that the Grand Lake debates, you don't no longer have to travel to Grenada and somebody can go back and forth. You stay right in your confines and
do that.
So things are changing.
Yeah,
things are changing, and that is something that we must take note of. Things are changing. It's not going to be the same way as it used to be.
That is so true. And now that things are changing, I'd like to see your constituency be involved so that they'll be a part of the change and not have things thrown on you that you have to accept, but must be very well in keeping with what's happening and be part of the change. It's too long and too much time that we've just thrown upon us and this is what we're doing for you. No. We must have some say and input into what is happening to us. The time has come for that.
And the word I like to use when you mention that is just consultation.
Consultation.
And so, Kim, it is, it's the right word for the right moment, because, coming from the graduation, this is what they were emphasizing and encouraging the graduates about change. And it says that change is courageously face new challenges, harness the power of resilience, adapt to and embrace the unknown, navigate through uncertainty, grow from experience, both good and bad, embrace change as a catalyst for growth. So this was emphasized, in the graduation, encouraging the children continue to change. And so Leo and Sokoi talk about, that. change we must be willing to accept.
For those who, for those who are not aware, what graduation school you're talking about? I mean, which school you're talking about? You're talking about HSS?
Yes, HSS.
Just Borough Secondary School?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, this is the time that you do
Wonderful.
graduation.
Yeah.
Vibes FM, line 9 caller. Line 9 caller, come in. Caller?
Hi.
Yes,
Good afternoon.
yes, go ahead, yeah.
Okay. In regards, I'm trying to get online with a few points that I kind of picked up and I wanted to share and comment on.
Okay.
Okay. In regards to the town hall meeting and some of the things that were said, first of all, when you think of the past administration, the word corrupt comes to mind. And with that, we know the meaning of corrupt is having a showed willingness to act dishonestly to return for money or personal gain. And similar words come with that: dishonest, unscrupulous, unprincipled, fraudulent, lawless, crooked, shady. So it's no surprise that the Prime Minister could have told us what happened with Hartman and the previous administration. Putting that aside, one of the things that I have the opportunity to ponder and think about with this gun issue is people's lives. Unfortunately, it does not seem that the opposition cares about the people's lives. From all indications, the guns are between like drug, tough, and territories it's in Grenada, which is also another issue. But innocent bystanders can get caught in crossfire or a drive-by shooting. It could be anyone's mother, father, grandfather, grandmother, brother, or sister. God forbid they got shot and they are killed. Now, who are they going to blame for the guns in the country? Is it the people that own the gun or had the gun to do the shooting, or the government? 99% or even 100%, they're going to say the government did nothing to take the guns off the street or do nothing about these persons who own illegal firearms. Now we have an opportunity where government is seeing, or an administration is seeing what can happen in the future or foresee the future of what can happen. And then we have a country of lawlessness and a lot of people dying because of stupid people who want to play macho, trying to say, okay, you cannot come in my top, you cannot take my area, shooting each other. It's okay if they want to shoot each other, but when innocent bystanders get caught in it, it is deeper than anyone else could anticipate or deal with. Another thing, the passport. Some people I've seen on Facebook, some people crying about, oh, the passport is now $350 and all that money. But when I looked at it rationally, it's a 10-year passport for $350, opposed to you having to do 2 5-year passports for $250, which adds up to $500. So now tell me, is it a gain or a loss? So you're getting a 10 years for less than $150. What is the problem? What's the debate and the argument about? Sometimes we have to stop playing Russian roulette and stop the political nitpicking, and because you support NDC or you support NNP or you support Green or you support Yellow, and look at the facts, look at the beneficiary and the benefits that you can get from certain things, and stop going and listening to everybody and going rah. We have to get away from that. To the last caller's point, online education and teaching is part of what is now going on all over the world. And it's a good thing. I'm not here to say this bad. However, there must be practical as well as online. Not every student could comprehend getting or being taught via online. It could be very confusing. Some need that in-person, one-on-one approach to help them in their educational journey. As an adult who experience online, sometimes it's very difficult. And for kids, they kind of lose their attention span or focus very easily, being online rather than being in a classroom where the teacher could see you, could have eye contact with you, and be able to answer your questions or ask you questions. So although some things are necessary and needed, we cannot do away with the old way because not everyone has the same level of grasping things or getting things done. So I just wanted to share this, and I must say hi Leo, hi Kim, hi Milton. It's good to be here today, and I will continue to discuss issues. But I just want us to listen to what is being said. Forget whatever you like, Bishop Mitchell or you don't like the embassy, but look at the facts and things that are brought to light for us to help us decide that, hey, we need better, we deserve better. So this is just my contribution.
Well, thank you so much for your
Thank you
contribution.
so very much.
Okay. Well done.
Yeah.
Well
Yeah.
said.
That's what I always maintain. I mean, this person-to-person teaching.
Yeah, it makes a difference.
A big time.
Big time.
Yeah.
I mean,
No matter what.
the transition,
Yeah.
the transition has to be, over a period of years. We can't just put away one and say we're going online now. I mean, because even the students have to learn. Some of them may not be able to maneuver and understand the workings of these gadgets, although it's common among them. But again, extracting information from it, learning from it.
But it does make a difference.
It does
make a difference.
It's also substitute, but it's not a real McCoy.
No, at all. It can't be. No.
Okay.
It's very.
Well, but you're quite right about that. Yeah?
If Mr. Noel had you online, how you get to lash?
Are you Noel?
But technology has moved us to that level.
Yeah.
Where it's convenient.
Yeah.
Very convenient for us to get on there. So Rodney, you came in a little bit late. I
Yes.
only have a few minutes more to go.
Indeed.
You might want to make a quick input.
Yes, well, I'm so happy to, always be here to give my consolidation to the programs and so on in whatever way. I think we are doing well. And so, I listen as much as I can if I'm not sharing, making contributions sometime live. But today, that's special day, I make sure as part of the executive of the PTA, Hillsborough Secondary School, I get myself there to support the children, in the award ceremony and so on.
Okay.
As well. So it was great. Everything went wonderful and so on. Right. And you always talking about change when I came in here, which is very important. And, for us as a people, the country, and we know definitely we'll attain new goals, as we challenge ourselves, we're honorable. We have innovative, exceeding expectation, visionary endeavor to do our best for the country in general. Thank you so much.
All right. Okay.
That's achieved.
Okay. Great. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Well, gentlemen, just about time for us to wrap it up. So Leo, I'll give you the first call.
Well, I think I was about to say that my resolution, 24 resolution, came a little late. It should be in January. But my resolution for the rest of 24 is to see some actual things happening for the port. So that's what I want to do.
Yes.
And so please permit me as often as I could. Again, I say I want to have a must beat Lacqua. I can't wait much longer.
And what Lacqua is doing again? What Lacqua is doing?
The establishment, he be afraid.
Praying for you?
Yeah, man, we committed.
That business is looking for it, that man.
But it's nice.
And I'm happy, and I think we'll have the support of our Prime Minister and government. So it's up to us now to roll with it.
Yeah, well, as a matter of fact, over the last town hall meeting, the ball was put back into our hands to start the ball.
Yes. Roll it.
So that we have a ball to roll. And you finally call.
Yeah, well, I want to say thanks to everybody for your engagement. I mean, I always like to follow what's been commented on when the program is on, and it's so interesting. And I cannot overemphasize the importance of the fact that we all can learn from each other. Let's not try to degrade each other. Let's try to learn from each other, because all of us have something useful to say. Finally, Kim, I want to just take the opportunity to tell people, those persons in Carriacou at this time, that this week, as I've said last week, we continue to put emphasis on sickle cells, and there will be a presentation this afternoon at the museum talking about the input or the impact of sickle cells by a specialist. And finally, I think it is important that we also should know that whatever we set out to do, we can accomplish it. Let us not go along with the idea that we cannot do it. We can do it. All what we're talking about, it can be done. So let's put our step off or step out. Huh?
Okay.
What did Black Stalin say?
We can make it if we try.
The views expressed on this program are those of the host and guests and not the views of this radio station.
And that will just wrap up our program for today right here on Vibes FM. We want to thank you so much for tuning in. Those of you who tuned in, listened, those of you who participated, thank you so much for being part of our program. As we always do, Speak Out Unfiltered every Thursday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. right here on Vibes FM. So until next time, I'm your humble servant, yours truly, Kim the King. It's been a real pleasure.